All right, guys, welcome to the Iron Serpents play not Death House, Curse of Strahd, our first session. We have with us tonight Zokk, who is playing. Tell us about your character, Zokk. Oh, perfect timing! Perfect timing. We'll go to Dalannar. so,
Perfect.
Dalannar, tell us about your character.
I'm playing Disdain. Disdain's now level 3 sorcerer. Um, he's been having a lot of fun with these mischievous people around.
So,
And
fleeing the firebolts.
oh, firebolts, chill touch, anything we can touch him with.
Love it. All right, Zokk.
All right, I'm playing Dr. Ernest Crawford, a human archaeologist who is also now a murderer. So after our last session, uh,
He had a hard choice to make.
yeah, that didn't go as planned. Um, so at this point, he's probably just going to be looking to try to figure out what's going on and preserve himself and his companions. So
Awesome. Then we have Mr. McFerret, Enusmcferet.
Yep, I'm Enos. You know me as Enos, but tonight I'm playing Dominico Nicotirada at your service.
Love it.
And
Great
uh,
take
I'm,
on the Vistani, by the way. I was
yeah, dude, I'm a bard. I inspire people. I live for the life of the performance, but I do have a mission to fulfill personally.
awesome. All right, and then we have last but certainly not least, Weezen.
Yes, I am a Rhogar, the Dragonborn Paladin. Uh, Last campaign, we almost kicked the bucket. We didn't though, so that's a good thing. So we're moving forward, and we'll see where he goes from here.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of coming, in terms of a recap, right? Like you guys had uh, entered a house in the middle of a forest. You were looking for a man named Professor Rudolph Van Richten, and you found out, just to summarize, literally like almost 10 hours of playtime, you guys discovered the house was not that what it seemed. It was haunted. There used to be a cult that lived underneath the house, a wealthy couple named Gustav and Elizabeth Durst, who were loyalists to a man named Strahd in a land called Barovia. Had basically had this cult going where they would lure people in and sacrifice them to some creature named Lorgoth. But at some point, they fell out of favor with Strahd, and Strahd cursed them and their family. And what you've kind of been able to put together in hindsight is that you were in their old home, right? You were in their old headquarters of the cult. You lost a companion in a underground chamber to some undead shadows. May Baron rest in peace.
he
Pieces,
says,
apparently.
yeah.
No, it's just one piece.
Yeah.
He didn't turn to pieces till you looted his ass.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the one ghoul did have his arm and was gnawing on his arm, so he is at least in two pieces that we know of. But you got to that final chamber, and in that final chamber, you faced a horrific creature, and Lorgoth the Destroyer, and you threw some spells at him. You kind of gauged pretty quickly that this thing is way stronger than maybe you're capable of taking down. And then Dr. Crawford, you ran back to the central chamber that had a sort of sacrificial altar in the middle of it. You ran up there, and the apparitions of the cultist appeared and told you that a sacrifice had to be made on the altar to appease Lorgoth. Lorgoth was still coming at that point. The rest of the party's trying to push him back, really unsuccessfully. And then none other than Professor Rudolph Van Richten showed up, was able to sort of command the creature to back away, bought you a few minutes, and he told you guys that you're not getting out of here unless someone dies on this altar. And he basically said that person needs to be me. And Nico, you started to do it, man. You started to just go ahead and take care of it, but then you kind of caught yourself and uh, couldn't bring yourself to do it. And Dr. Crawford, you're the one that said, "Hey, I'll do what has to be done." He did ask you for a favor before you
Yes,
did that. Do you recall what that was?
the ring for Victavio. That if I ever find him, I'm going to give him that and let him know that, quote, she found her peace.
That's excellent. Yeah, that was sort of his last request, and you ran him through on the altar, and he put his hand on your hand and kind of let you know it's okay, that this is. And he had said something else, you guys, that destiny had brought all of you together, and with no real explanation of that, but just that destiny had brought you all together. And there was sort of a familiarity, Nico, because these guys had met and interacted with him. This was you've heard of him because he's a friend of the Vistani, but he had a really familiar smile for you when you came up. Well, rest in peace. Professor Van Richten passed away on the altar, and when that sacrifice was made, Lorgoth withdrew, the gate closed, and the air itself just sort of got less ominous, and it was still you could feel an evil presence there, but it sort of abated, and you guys were able to exit the house. But when you exited the house, now covered in dust, and it was all run down and dilapidated, nothing like the house you climbed through. You were no longer in the forest; you were in a village, and standing over this village from a nearby mountain is a massive castle, and that's where we ended the session. And so, therefore, that's exactly where we'll pick up. So,
And wait,
yeah, did you say something?
I said I can't wait.
Okay, wait. Okay, so you guys walk out into the street, and you can see that there's people in these homes. There's lights, but most of the house windows have either metal bars or like sort of crude wooden planks, sort of nailed to them. Um, everyone who has insight, let's do an insight roll. Um, that's going to be Dr. Crawford and Rhogar. You guys are my insight guys. So give me insight rolls, and let's try to beat a 12.
Whoa, okay.
Nat 20 from Dr. Crawford. You forgot your R there, buddy.
No,
Now, what I did, guys, is I copied the R1D20 plus, and then I just Control V it and then put whatever modifier in for fast rolls. If you guys want to do something
I
like
take
that.
a bunch of notes, so that might not be as efficient for me.
No, it may not be. Okay, so I'm going to start with you, Rhogar, because that 12 is going to do it, but just barely. And then we'll address the 20 because whenever I can, a nat 20 is going to do a little bit more for you than normal. Okay, so what you can sort of ascertain with your insight, looking at all these boarded up homes, bars on the window, people apparently here, but you don't really see anyone in the streets at this hour. You can definitely tell this is a place that at nighttime probably gets everyone gets really insulated. Everybody kind of draws back, right? Dr. Crawford, you with that 20, we're going to go a little bit beyond that. You're able to piece together that this is a cursed land. You know that from your studies. You know that from the conversations you've had with Rudolf van Richten, your studies of Ravenloft. And you realize not only is that Castle Ravenloft, but by virtue of that being Castle Ravenloft, this must be the village of Barovia in the land of Barovia.
Okay.
And the fact that everyone is keeping to themselves falls right in line with its reputation as being a dangerous and cursed place.
Gentlemen, I propose we try to find somewhere to hunker down for the night. I think we could all use some rest, and I don't know if the locals would be particularly thankful to us if we were out prowling about at night.
Okay, so what do you guys want to do?
I'm going to look for an inn or a tavern or something.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. So you start kind of walking towards what you think might be the center of town. You see some street lights kind of that direction, some lamps and stuff, and so you start making your way down there. Again, it's really desolate. You occasionally hear a dog bark or in the distance a sheep let out sort of a bleat, but it's otherwise really pretty much quiet until you start to hear just sort of echoing. It's like a man humming and it seems to be coming from around the next corner.
Okay. I think I'm going to head towards the humming, actually, see if I can get some directions.
Okay. So you go around the corner, and you almost draw back immediately. There's a man hanging from sort of an edifice from one of the buildings. He's clearly been dead for a couple days. Um, and you also see across this street a house that has been barricaded like nothing like the houses you've seen so far. It's been like double and triple boarded up, and even the front door has multiple, like almost like a barricade pushed against it, and all the windows have been boarded up, and there's a little like set of barricades all around it on the perimeter. Otherwise, it looks completely untouched, like it's like nobody's over there. You don't see any lights or anything. But this building looks, I almost would say condemned, but it's like it's boarded up completely. And as you're sort of taking in the dead man and that really weird looking building, you see the man who is humming, and it is this massive guy with a big smile, and he's got furs, wolf furs, just hanging off of him. And even though he's pretty heavy set, he is just got corded muscles on his arm, real thick neck and beard, and he's just oh, hello, hi friends.
Greetings. Nice to meet you. My name is Dr. Ernest Crawford. What's your name?
I am Follow. I am Follow. How are you, doctor? Oh, it's been so long since I talked to a doctor. He goes, I have this rash on my elbow. Can you take a look?
Rhogar. I'm not that kind of a doctor, but Rhogar, would you be willing to take a look at it?
Sure.
So he comes up to you and he's like, and then when he kind of sees that you're like, you can see in his face, like he sees you're a dragonborn, and his eyes just widen and his jaw drops. He says, "You're one of those dragon men. I was a little boy the last time I saw one of your kind." He goes, "But I've heard wonderful stories." He goes, "May I?" And he kind of like puts his finger like right over your skin on your arm.
I withdraw. I back away.
I am sorry. That was wrong of Follow. Follow is not I normally am not like a rude man. I'm sorry.
Let me
And-
take a look at your elbow.
Okay. And he holds up his elbow. And it's just sort of this scabby looking mess. You got medicine?
I got a lay on hands left.
Okay. You want to use lay on hands?
Let's light him up. Yeah.
Okay. So your clawed hand starts glowing with that radiant energy, and you touch his elbow, and you literally watch the dead skin sort of flake off and fall away. There's pink, healthy skin underneath, and he gasps. He says, "You have the power of healing, because we have not seen one such as you in many years. Father Donovich used to have it, but it's been a year since, well, such things should not be spoken of. It is good to see one such as you here in such a dark place. Follow calls you friends now."
Nico is going to step up here and ask him a question. He's going to say, "Follow, you're a good friend, I can tell. Why do you sing this hymn, these such pleasant notes in the middle of all of this obvious death and destruction and fear, most of all?"
He says, "My friend, you said your name was..."
"I am Nico Tirada, at your service."
"Nico, it is good to make your acquaintance, my friend." He goes, "Do not let your eyes deceive you. Barovia is a dark place, but even in a place such as this, you can find light. I sing because, why not? It makes me happy. I spend most of my days by the river, hunting for the village. My brother, Olaf, he is the butcher. I bring him meat. He makes delicious sausage for the people. There's happiness to be found."
And so there's no fear before your eyes, no? Where did you learn this Phrygian scale? These notes of mirth, they're so happy.
I learned them from travelers. I had friends that have sung. I don't know. I pick it up here. I pick it up there.
Your notes, your song, it warms me. It warms us. Is there anywhere we can go to find a quick respite or a rest?
Oh yes, you must have traveled far uh, to get here. Um, there is the tavern, Blood of the Vine. It is very close to here, and they serve delicious food. It is a warm place, a place of rest. If you tell them that Follow sent you, they will treat you well. I am sure of it.
Oh, entonces mucho hambre. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am very hungry, and so are my companions. We would love to go here. Can you show us the way?
Certainly, certainly. I, I will take you at least to the street, but I must be on my way soon. I have my dogs at the camp, and they cannot be kept alone for long. There are dangerous things that lurk the night, and I must protect them.
And
Uh,
Nico understands.
and then, Disdain, what are you doing while this is going on?
Well, I'm kind of sitting back admiring all this exchange, and but I'm kind of just looking at all the buildings and seeing how much they are kind of um, like so boarded up, and um, I'm still very wary of the entire situation.
You you when you're looking around, you see underneath the dead man on the wall. It's almost like a community board of some kind,
Mm-hmm.
and there's several pieces of paper sort of pinned to it. Most of them are wet or decayed or old, but two pieces of paper look really new. One of them is in a very crisp white, and another one is in a sort of an old school parchment paper that looks decent quality. And there's writing on both of them with seals on both of them.
All right, I walk up to that communication board and look at both those.
Okay.
I look at the one that's in the parchment first.
Okay. So when you go to the parchment one, it's kind of lengthy. There's actually a lot of writing on it. Guy almost ran out of space, but kept writing. But it looks like it was a very elegant hand that wrote this, and it's a notice, and it says, "Citizens of Barovia, in light of the tragic death of Burgomaster Kolion Indirovich, and by order of Count Strahd, I, Amal Kelhaven, have been appointed new Burgomaster of the village. The following edicts are immediately in effect. My brother, Payne Kelhaven, is hereby constable. He operates with my authority. The city morgue has been boarded up. Trespass at your own peril. All visitors must register to our fair city, and taxes of 1 gold coin per citizen are due by each full moon." And it's signed Burgomaster Amal Kelhaven.
All right, all right, and then read the second one.
So when you look at the second one, it's a very elegant script, and you guys have seen this handwriting before in the estate of Gustav and Elizabeth Durst. There's a letter that was written to Gustav, and it says, "Citizens of Barovia, I, your lord and master, Count Strahd von Zarovich, hereby decree Amal Kelhaven as the burgomaster of Barovia. He speaks my will, and you are to obey without question." And it's signed and sealed Count Strahd von Zarovich.
All right. So I turn back to them and I'm like, "You got some interesting literature over here, guys. Uh, looks like Strahd is given decree to Von Brodovich, and he has gone and said that any visitors have to check in to our fair city. Where would we check in, fellow sir?"
Oh, yes, Burgomaster Kelhaven, he is a bit more of a stickler for decor than Kolian was. Kolian was a man of the people, a good man, almost like family. But Amal, he is a little more. Um, he's from a noble upbringing. He is a little more formal. Um, I think you would need to go to the city center, and perhaps in the morning. I know they're not there now. Um, let them know that you're visiting. I think they want to know who is coming and going from the village, especially after what happened.
What happened? Well, I saw something about the city morgue.
It is a thing best not spoken of. I should not.
Can you at least answer that? Is that the city morgue that is boarded up in varying degrees of
It
worseness?
is. It
Okay.
is.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, if you ever run into a character that doesn't want to give you information, you can always
Hmm.
declare that you want to persuade or intimidate that information out of them. Or
Nico
you can try to barter it.
Nico is about to intimidate this guy to the fullest. What do
Well,
we
Okay,
need
now
to
before
be?
you do, because this is our first time doing this, I want to be really clear about something. If you intimidate and it fails, that can have negative consequences you may not intend, because basically think of it as you tried to flex on somebody and it didn't work, and they may lose respect for you. They may become hostile to you after that. In some extreme cases, they may attack. So just, think it through. And then also succeeding in an intimidate can sometimes blow up in your face, because let's say you successfully intimidate, but now that person's your enemy because they're like, okay, well, you got me to do something I didn't want to do. I'll get you later when I have a chance, right? Not that you get that vibe from this guy per se. I just want you to know in
Hmm.
general, it's a powerful tool, but it can also go the other direction.
I understand, but this guy strikes me as a big softy.
Okay, cool. No,
Doesn't he
go for it.
strike
I
everybody
don't want
else as
to
a
restrain you. I just want you
big
to know,
softy?
yeah.
can we ask him first though why he's the only one out and out walking around?
You can after I resolve what Nico said, because he declared his action first. So
Okay.
let's roll that intimidate score, buddy.
Okay.
Now he's gonna need a 15, and I'll tell you why after the roll.
Yeah. It's a big muscly dude. He's not gonna be intimidated.
Nico, he's not scared. Did I mess that up? One.
No, you
Doesn't
didn't. It
look
looks
like
like
it.
it's just lagging for a second.
Okay.
So now I'm waiting on bated breath here. See what the number comes out to.
It looks like it should have worked.
How is this little bard able to have a +5 intimidate? That's what I want to know.
It's what he chose.
Charisma and
Chose.
proficiency, I would imagine.
Well, bards can have that sort of, you know, like they can
Because
come.
the bard's business is people. The bard's business is the people. They always forever interact with people. That's it. So
I could just see him being like a metal singer, right? Like just like, you ready for this?
Do it again, bro. I don't know why
Okay.
that's lagging like
Oh,
that.
there it is.
Oh no, it went. Okay, and you succeeded.
all right, cool.
So yeah, you rolled 17. So yeah, so how would that look? I want you to tell, because whenever you win, a lot of times when you guys
Okay.
win these
So
persuasion or intimidates, I'm gonna ask you to tell me what you say.
okay, so Nico, I'm gonna tell you, he is not a hard edged dude
Okay.
at all. He will find a way to softly get his point across at all
Okay.
times for the benefit of his companions. And this comes from many years experience in dealing with people. So I stroll up to him and I say, my brother, fellow, I have enjoyed your music. Your voice, it is like many birds in the breeze in a sunny day. But tonight, this dark night, we are in need of inspiration. Can you not tell us? Why will you not take us further?
Okay.
I only want to know.
I like what you're saying. It's got a little more of a persuasion-y vibe than an intimidate vibe. So how would you slant that just a little bit more towards the
Okay.
intimidate?
Okay. All right. So do you want me to pull it? Okay, cool. Let's go intimidation. Let me tell you a story. Okay. There was a little mouse and he was looking at the river. And then all of a sudden, to his left, he sees a scorpion roll up to that same river he is looking at. The scorpion turns to the mouse. He says, I need to cross this river, but I cannot swim. And the mouse says, I will help you. But I do not want to because I am scared. The scorpion says, why are you scared, little mouse? I need help. The mouse says, because when I help you cross, you will sting me. And the scorpion goes, no, that is ridiculous. Scorpions have hearts, you know. You help me, I will help you. I will not sting you. So the mouse, he gets in the river. The scorpion gets on his back. He paddles across the little river. And as soon as they get across, the scorpion sting him. And as the little mouse lay dying, with his little mousy breath, last mousy breath, he tells the scorpion, why did you sting me? The scorpion says, little mouse, you knew what I was before you carried me across. The moral of the story is, do not help death when you are so close to it by letting it get on their back.
Okay, that's good. That's sufficiently sneaky. Um, and he actually, you actually noticed too when you mentioned the dead mouse, he actually got a tear in his eye. He says, what a powerful story, and you are right. Death is everywhere. I do not need more of it. You seem like good folk. I should help you. I should help you navigate this dangerous place. Um, I tell you this: there was a tragedy, a wedding, a few days back. Something attacked the wedding. It killed everyone. What I have heard is they were taken to the morgue, and something inside the morgue began to kill the workers, and they ran. And then Kolian and his son Ismark, they came. He was the burgomaster. It was his duty to help protect. He raised the militia. They ran in, and many were killed. So Kolian, he had the whole place boarded up. He went back to his estate outside of town, and something happened, and he died of a heart attack. And then Count Strahd, he says, because Kolian is dead, Amal is now the burgomaster. It is a very dangerous time here. It is a time of change and uncertainty. I I just ask you to be careful, my friends.
And I thank you, brother fellow, for giving me this information. May you be blessed, and may you ever find a healthy path before your feet.
Thank you, my friend. I also invite you anytime you wish. I have my camp. It is by the river Ivlis. Uh, Come and see me sometime. You can help me hunt wolves. Uh, Try to have some of my brother's sausages while you are in town. They are the most delicious sausages in all of the land. I bring him the meat. He makes the best sausages. He almost seems to kind of be like stammering a little bit.
Yeah. And so I'm going to cut him off right here. I'm going to say, and oh, there is no doubt, it would be our pleasure.
So he says, I said I would show you the street. And so he kind of says, follow, 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 follow. And he takes you a couple streets down. And he points down this street, and you kind of see at the end of the street a pretty well lit square with what looks to be an inn at the end of it.
All
He
right.
says, tell Eric, he is the owner. Tell him follow sent you. He will take good care of you. No doubt for good coin, but he will take care of you.
Well, thank you, Follow. Thank you for all your information and everything that you've helped us with. You're such a good soul.
Thank you,
Thank you,
thank you.
thank you, and thank you, fellow. Good corn cannot compare to a warm fire and lifted spirits. Thank you very much, brother.
He says his farewell. He starts to leave, but he turns around like when he's about 20 yards down the road. He says, "Also, my friends, you should be careful." He's kind of talking to you, Disdain, and you, Rhogar. He goes, "The people of Barovia, they are not always so kind to those that look different. You might want to be careful." And turns and leaves.
Hmm.
Okay. You said you were going to tell us why we had to roll a 15?
You hit it on the head. He's actually a pretty dangerous dude. Like, he's actually really strong. He lives outside of town hunting wolves. He's not really like he's nice and friendly, but he's not a pushover if it comes to combat or any of that stuff. So
Okay.
he's not going to
Yeah.
be intimidated with a low number, basically.
Yeah, but he's also not going to be intimidated by anything less than a story about the fable about the scorpion and the mouse. I mean,
Yeah.
that's classic.
That got him.
Classic.
All right. Well,
Yep,
let's.
that was good. No,
let's-
inspiration for that. That was beautiful.
Thanks.
All right. So so you guys go into the tavern?
Almost.
Yep.
I would like to take the notes off of that board. The one that has Strahd's supposed handwriting on it,
Mhm.
and the one that says the gives the directions for what's going on, because
Nice.
taxes of 1 gold coin. I didn't get the full
Yeah,
thing
sure.
on the. Yeah, I just want to make sure I have that. 1 gold coin per citizen per full moon. See, you've always been boarded up.
It seems like 3 out of these 4 edicts apply to everybody else, but this one, I feel like it's very important for us to check in.
Yeah, I
before
would
we
very
do
much like to
anything.
not screw that up.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to check in, man.
Mm-mm.
And he, Fallow
No,
did
okay, so
mention.
Rhogar's not feeling the check-in. Okay.
Let's
got
go to
your
the
back.
end.
I don't know. It's a kind of like I think maybe you two should check in. I don't know if we
I'll
should
check,
in.
dude. I'll check in with Rhogar
Well,
anywhere,
let's
dude.
discuss in the end. But like,
Let's go to the inn. I'm tired of being out in the dark.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Okay. So as you guys get close to the inn, you can now see the sign for the inn, and the sign. Originally, you can see that the name of this place was Blood of the Vine, and somebody at some point came by, and maybe it's graffiti or what, but they scratched out of and they put on, so it's Blood on the Vine Tavern.
Awesome. Hey, quick bio, real quick.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so we're back from our break. All right, so you guys get up close, you see the sign, and then as you get close to the tavern, you all can hear what sounds to be like a lute or something like that playing on the inside. Some voices talking, not like it's a crazy crowded tavern, but it definitely has there's definitely people in there, and there's definitely music coming out of it.
All right.
Going in.
Indeed.
All right.
Absolutely.
So you guys enter a tavern that you're adventurers, you're travelers. You've been in many taverns before. This one's not too dissimilar from a lot of them. It's you can tell it's a little older. Building's a little older. The architecture of this place very much matches the architecture of the Durst household. But you walk in and there's a handful of people. Looks like some villagers. You see a few Vistani in the corner, Nico, but they seem to be kind of in the shadows, kind of keeping to themselves. You look for where the music's coming from, and you're really actually shocked to see in the corner playing. I'll come back to these guys in a second. You see a halfling, and she's playing a lute, kind of a melancholy tone. And then standing next to her is an elf, and he's armed, and nothing's out, but you just tell this guy's he's kind of used like an adventurer looking type. And then on the other side of the room, you see a very interesting interaction. You see what looks to be a man in not noble garb, but nicer clothing, nicer hair. And he's sort of in a heated exchange with 2 very interesting characters. The one with blonde hair is an exceptionally handsome man. He is got perfectly golden blonde hair, alabaster skin, the finest like noble garb. You would see this kind of garb in the middle of the courts of Faerun. Like, this is a really obviously wealthy and well put together guy, and he just sort of has an amused smile on his face as he leans back against the wall, looking down at a table where the other 2 men are talking. The man in the middle there is an elf of some kind, and he's got darker skin, but he's also wearing sort of noble garb, but it's less colorful than the blonde man. And there's just something about that man being trained adventurers. Like both of those men look very dangerous, but this man looks like death incarnate. Just the way he's carrying himself. He has two perfectly polished scimitars in his belt. But he's leaning forward with sort of a patient look on his face, but he seems to be explaining something to the human man that the human man doesn't want to hear. And then there's a bartender behind the bar, kind of an older man.
I walk up to the bartender and I ask him, Fred, correct? Zokk, was that his name?
Sorry,
Eric.
what was the question?
Eric, sorry, Eric.
Yeah.
Hello, Eric. Is it? Is this?
Yeah, so he's like cleaning a mug, and he's kind of not really looking up, and then all of a sudden you say Eric, and he looks up and starts to say, "Do I know you, friend?" And then when he starts to say friend, he changes it to fiend, and he takes a step back. He says, "We don't serve devils here."
I'm going to put my hand on Disdain's shoulder, and I'm going to quickly interject. And I'm going to inject my beautiful aura. I want to say, "Oh, I am so sorry, Eric. He meant no disrespect. He is with us. We are but a traveling party, and we're just solely looking for inspiration, comfort, and food and wine, if you have it."
So that's a persuasion. So you don't got it. So give me a persuasion roll at disadvantage. I'm gonna give you advantage because you guys know his name. So just give me a straight roll. You do get to add your modifier though. If that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, okay. So the modifier is a +2.
So that would be a 20, not now. Okay, great.
Okay.
Totally nailed it.
Yep.
So he goes, "Adventurers, you say? Well, I can't say you're the first of those devil folk that I've ever seen, or dragon folk for that matter. Because you can drink here, but I don't think I'm going to let you stay here."
And Nico says, "You are too kind for letting us just do those things. But tell me, can I please have one more piece of information? Who is that on the lute there, guarded, who's playing so beautifully?"
That's another one of you adventurer types. That's Bellfish. I let her stay here at a discount if she entertains the guest on a nightly basis.
"Oh, she plays so beautifully." And I just cast my gaze to her, and I'm ever fixed upon her. So I'm checked out.
Cool. Disdain?
I would like to ask one of our other travelers to mention our friend Follow, and maybe, but I certainly should not.
Yeah, it should be the doctor. It should be the doctor.
I should shut up.
Can I do that, Iraqi? Can I make suggestions? Because I said I'm zoned out. I don't.
You have declared that you're zoned
Yep,
out.
I'm zoned out.
You're,
Okay.
You're out of
Alright.
that interaction.
Cool.
Anyway.
All right.
I'm going to step up and say, "Sir, we had received recommendation to visit your establishment from Faulo. He had been very specific, saying that we'd be treated well here. So if my friends aren't allowed to stay, could you at least point us towards somewhere where we would be able to get a safe roof over our heads for the night?"
He starts laughing. Because I'm the only tavern in Barovia. Follow sent you, huh?
Yes, sir.
I best not be upsetting supplier of my meat. I could make my wolf stew without him. All right, you can stay here, but I'm going to charge double for your friends.
Understandable. And then I'll pull out my coin pouch and make it, and basically pay for everything up front.
So it's a gold each to stay the night. So 2 gold each for Rhogar and Disdain. So it's going to be 6 total.
Gold.
And then meals are a gold each.
Everybody's getting a meal. So is he charging double for their meals as well?
He didn't charge you double for the meal, just for stuff.
Oh, he's nice.
He's
a nice guy.
All right,
He's one of
so
those
we're down
nice
10
guys.
gold. All right, 10
Nice
gold
race.
for a safe evening. All right, good.
Yep. So you guys are paid up. He tells you where your room is. You all have to share a room.
We'll manage.
So he tells you where that is. He goes, what do you want to eat? What do you want to drink?
That wolf stew sounds really good. I would really love to try your wolf stew if you would be okay with that.
He
Second that.
So he storms back. Now, Nico, you'll put your order in later. You said you're walking to Belfast right now. So Rhogar, what do you want?
Sausages.
Sausages, yes, you'll love them. So what do you want to drink?
Ale.
Okay, kind of laughs. Dr. Crawford and Disdain, what do you guys want to drink?
I'm gonna try to stay sober. I'll ask for water boiled.
Okay.
I'll have
Nice.
wine.
He goes, we're getting low on wine. I have grape mash, which is he shows you the bottle. It's actually the name of the wine is grape mash,
Oh,
purple grape mash. And
I would love
okay, so
some grape mash.
he sloshes it into a glass. You can see some of the particulates of the grapes and the vine in it. Pushes it to you. Pours the ale into this mug and pushes it to you, Rhogar. It's a very small mug compared to what you would normally get. And then he pours water for you, Dr. Crawford. Whether it's boiled or not, it doesn't look like it's boiled, but he does that for you. And then he stomps to the back. And when he opens the back door to the kitchen, you assume pretty nice. It's been a while since you guys have eaten. It's been like almost 2 days since you guys have eaten. So it smells really good. You guys actually realize at this moment how ravenous you are. And what we'll do is I'm gonna describe the food, and then I'm gonna go back over to Nico so we can do that interaction. So he brings out these steaming bowls of soup, with sort of chunks of really dark meat, and he puts that in front of the two of you. And then Rhogar, he brings you a plate of these sausages. They look pretty nondescript. They're pretty standard looking sausages, but they smell incredible. You guys want to dig in?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
dig in.
Okay.
I can't stand the smell anymore, and I just go to town. I don't even use a spoon. I start drinking.
So give me a let's see.
I'm gonna drink for a second first.
Okay, so you drink that ale, and it is piss in a glass, man. It's just fucking gross. It's just a tepid, not well done ale. Like, it's just not good. It's ale. It's, you know, you taste the alcohol in it, but it's like somebody took old expired ale and then put a little moonshine in it. Is like what it tastes like. So
At this point, I'm so thirsty it doesn't matter.
just gulp it down.
Gulp it down.
All right, you gulp it down, and you want to eat the sausages?
Yeah, small bites.
They're fucking delicious. Like, might be the best sausages you've ever had.
In the last 3 days, yes.
Yeah. No, ever. Like, they taste great.
Perfect.
You're not injured, are you? You don't have any hit points missing?
No, I'm capped up.
Okay. Cool. You would have gained a hit point. So that's how good they are. The soup is good. It's very heavy on that sort of protein kind of taste, but it's good. You kind of got to get used to it after a few seconds, but you're so hungry it doesn't matter, and it's pretty filling actually. And that wine is, it's kind of a cheap tasting wine, but it's doable. You get the buzz from it after that first glass. So let's go with Nico. So Nico, you head on over to this young lady, and she's halfling, so she's only about waist high to you. And she just kind of smiles at you as you walk over, but kind of goes back to focusing on the music. The man, as you get closer, puts his hand on his blade on his belt, and he says, "Can we help you, friend?"
And I tell the man, I mean, no disrespect. I've only been admiring Belfast's musical notes for the past 10 minutes or 15 minutes or so. I lost count. You ever notice, and I'm speaking directly to him, you ever notice how once you can listen to the notes of the universe that you almost might never need another drink of water or a bite of food again? Belfast fills me with this energy. I must know more. I only ask that you permit me to talk to her.
By the old gods and the new, you sound just like her. By all means. And he kind of like just steps back and sits back down and goes back to drinking his purple grape mash and almost kind of gets like a distracted look in his face, like he doesn't even care what happens now. So the girl, she kind of keeps playing, but she plays a little more silently. She goes, "Well, hello, stranger." She goes, "Do you know how to use that thing?" And she's kind of giving you some innuendo, but then you realize she's talking about the instruments that you have.
Yeah, but Nico isn't about that life. He knows exactly what she's talking about, so he takes his pants off. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. He doesn't do that. He's all about the music and the energy in the room. So at this point, people from the town, Rocky, they've started to kind of come in because it's kind of prime time. Can you permit me that?
I'll give. So actually, I can't permit other people come in. I will say that you notice a lot of the people that are in there. There's probably about half a dozen people from the village in there, and they are
Okay,
kind of
so
watching you guys.
so they're
Like,
like turning around. Okay, so I'm gonna put my hand on her shoulder and I'm gonna tell her, I'm like, I know how to use these, but how do you continue playing and conversation at once? It is brilliant.
okay. I wish there was just like a. So persuasion is kind of the charming
Dude,
skill
I
usually.
should have went like 10 in persuasion and forgot every other skill because
I
this
know,
dude is
right?
all about it.
I know, right? I so look. Here's what I'll tell you. She. So I don't want. I don't. It's not quite a persuade. You're not trying to persuade her of anything. You're just trying to talk to her.
Yeah, I am.
Give me just a straight charisma roll.
Okay,
And what that means is just roll a d20 and then add your modifier for charisma.
got it.
Call it a charisma check.
It's terrible. She's like, your breath stinks.
She says, "Did you wash those filthy hands before you
Oh,
touched my new
shit.
linens?" And you
Okay,
look down and you do see you've got like gunk and blood and
okay.
all kinds
So
of
I'm going to
crap on
issue
your
an
hands.
immediate apology. Okay, I am so sorry, Belfast. I should not have touched you in this state. However, I can touch my instrument. Will you permit me to join you in this set?
She goes, "Stroke it, big boy. That's fine with me."
Oh, dude, she's a feisty one, isn't she, Rocky? Okay,
Reminds me of a gangster.
so I'm going to pull my lute and I'm going to start strumming along with her
Okay.
in the progression that she is evolving.
Okay. So let's do a performance roll.
You guys have no idea what's about to happen. It's going to be awesome.
20, not now. So after just a couple notes, you fall right in line with what she's doing. You start matching it. You sort of kind of like jazz, like you kind of start playing off each other a little bit. The music, it picks up a little bit, gets a little bit more upbeat. People in the end kind of start smiling a little bit. And she goes, "Oh, I've never seen that before," you know. And you guys play for a couple minutes. And after that time period kind of winds down, she just sort of suddenly puts the lute down and says, "Well, you gonna buy me a drink or what?"
I'm going to say absolutely anything for the lady who has just played so inspirationally to my heart.
"Oh, then get me a bottle of Chateau Lestamp."
I do not have enough gold for that. How about a bottle of piss warm beer?
Starts laughing. She says, "Don't make offers you can't back up."
Oh, I'm sure we can find what you need. Come over to the bar.
All right. She goes, "Cassius, be good while I'm gone."
Oh.
And he just says, "As always."
And I'm gonna look
Uh,
back. I'm gonna look back at the man who let me permit to interact with her. I'm gonna say like, "Thank you, Cassius. I'm Nico Tirada at your service.
It was Cassius. Pleasure's all yours.
So we belly up to the bar, yeah, Rocky?
Belly up to the bar. Okay, cool. Trying to figure out how to unzoom this. There we go. So yeah, so you guys go up to the bar. Guys, this halfling girl comes up to the bar and kind of like jumps up into one of the stools and sits down. She goes, "Eric, this man's buying me a bottle of Chateau Stomp, and give me let's see. Well, I'm just gonna give this to you. You guys remember that's actually the wine that you had in the house.
It is. We
Yeah.
should have took it
Yeah,
and put it in
yeah.
our backpack because it
Um,
would be free. It would be on the house right now, but it's going to cost me like 20 gold. But
it
I'll
is
pay
20
it,
gold. It's legitimately 20 gold.
dude. That
And,
was a good guess,
Yep.
Inspiration.
dude.
Yeah,
I'll
no.
pay it.
It's
No, I'll
very-
pay it, dude. I'll pay it, Rocky. I'll do it.
You pay it. Eric's like, really? And he goes over. He goes 2 bottles in one night, and then you kind of realize he's nodding to the other table where these other 3 guys are sitting, and they have a bottle of Chateau Stomp on the table. He goes, I don't think I sold 2 bottles all last month. And he pulls a bottle out, dusty, knocks the dust off of it, puts it in front of you, takes the 20 gold, uh, pours you and her a glass, which takes up about a third of the bottle, and she goes, "Well, stranger, I'm glad I met you." And she goes, "What should we toast to?"
I would say we should toast to good service, and I will cast a discerning eye towards Eric, the bartender, who did not let us have a taste or sniffed of the wine glass first, and I will let a long pause, play out. I'll be like, we should toast to good service and even better musical inspiration.
She goes, "I'll drink to that." She goes, "And on that service thing, good luck finding that anywhere in Barovia." And she drinks it, and she just sort of savors it for a long time. And you actually see a little tear kind of go down her cheek for a second. She wipes it away, kind of in a hurry.
Okay, I mean, like, okay, so Nico's gonna step in here, and he's gonna intimidate the shit out of her and tell me, and get her to tell me all of her dark secrets. No, I'm just playing. I don't know what to do here, dude.
Intimidate
I'm
the
just
shit.
These guys are with you now. You're all at the
okay.
bar
so-
together.
So,
we're-
so the three people that were arguing in the back are now coming forward. Is that
no,
what
no,
you're
no.
saying?
No,
So I'm
us.
saying the party.
We are.
Oh,
You're
the
back
party's
with
with
the
me.
party.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, so it's all 5 of you at the bar, and then Eric's behind the bar.
Okay. Cool. All right, Eric. We still have Eric's attention.
Not really. He's kind of moved down
Okay.
to the bar.
Yeah,
serving
he's
the
already
glasses,
served us our
yeah.
drinks. Okay.
Yeah, and you see these guys have empty bowls and plates in front of them.
God.
And I say, truly, I notice her tear, and I try to make light of it and try to get more out of her, which is, damn it, more persuasion. Shut it. Okay, so I'm like, and I'm like, oh, I feel your pain. Good service is few and far between these days in these dark times.
I'm going to give you advantage because you bought her a 20 gold bottle of wine. And that's the least
Thank
I can
you.
do. I'm kind of
Thank
a
you.
dick if I don't give you
Okay.
advantage.
Thank you.
So roll once and add your modifier for charisma.
My charisma modifier is a 51. Can you handle that at this point?
Damn,
Alright, that's
dude, you
an
got the
ego.
rolls tonight.
All right, cool.
All right, so he rolled a 20,
Did-
not nat.
I love the story. I love it.
All right, so she says, "Well, I've been here a few years, and I think the last time I had a bottle of that was with my old party, and it just reminded me of them."
Oh, dude, I really want to seize upon this. Can I seize upon
Certainly
it?
can.
Yeah, I
Oh.
was just gonna ask her
I'm-
how long she's been
Oh.
here. So.
Yeah, please jump in. Jump in, guys. Come on. Is
seems
she
to
a
be-
race?
seems
Is
to
she
be
a
really
racist
warmed up
as
to you
well?
guys.
Is she a racist as well?
Well,
She's not. Okay.
She's in the same boat. She's
Yeah,
one of
she's
the
kind
other-
of.
She didn't try to kick
Well,
you out.
but she's a halfling. How can a halfling be a racist? She's
So,
I would hope
Eric
not.
is Eric is not really paying attention, right?
he doesn't give a fuck. He's all the way on the
Okay.
other end.
Okay,
So,
cool.
so
Yeah.
Rhogar's gonna ask her how long she's been here and how she's been treated since she's like us outsiders.
She says, "I assume these guys are with you," and she's directing that at Unica.
And I say, of course they are, and they are the utmost character, and they are at your service.
She goes, all right, if you vouch for him, I like him. She
Indeed, I do.
goes, she goes, it's the craziest thing. She goes, my friends and I took a job to go clear out a haunted house in the middle of all places, a forest. And we go into this place, and we're in the first floor, and we get attacked by these creatures, and I wake up, and I'm in some kind of dungeon, and I'm stuck there, and I end up writing music for a couple days and eating my rations, and I can't get out, and every day, all day, chanting, chanting, chanting. And then finally, I hear the voice of one of my friends down the hall. He had escaped from his prison and he got me and the others out. They were going to sacrifice us. But somehow, the leader of our group, who was a very powerful cleric, he got us out of the house. But when we exited the house, we weren't in a house anymore. We were in Barovia. And we tried to leave. We went to the east where we heard the gates to the land were. And there's a wall of mist as high as a mountain. And when we tried to go through it, it almost killed us. It turned to poison in our lungs. So we came back. We came back and we tried to figure out what was going on. We heard horror stories about the lord of this land. And Cassius, who's been here longer than me, warned us to just lay low here. Don't don't stir any trouble. I believed him. I stayed here. But my friends, they marched to Castle Ravenloft thinking they would deal with this lord of the land, and they never came back. I've heard a lot of stories ever since. The worst one happened about a year ago. Man came to town. He was a very powerful wizard. I don't know that I've ever felt that much energy and power coming off of anyone before. And he said he had come to end Strahd's reign. He got all of the local men excited to do a rebellion, wanted me and Cassius to go with him too, but we refused. Almost 100 men charged Castle Ravenloft. From what I heard, Strahd killed most of them. The lucky ones died, including that mage. It's a massacre. So now all this with the burgomaster having a heart attack, and that's his son over there, Ismark. He's a good kid as far as I can tell. He goes, but the 2 men he's talking to, you need to be very careful around them, because those are 2 of Strahd's most trusted advisors. She goes, the elf? That's Rahadin, probably one of the most deadly assassins in the world, and Strahd's chamberlain. She goes, you need to be careful here, guys. This place, it's horrible.
Nico wiping a tear or two away from his eye very quickly. He was like, everything that you just said describes our most recent adventure. We too ventured through this house. Unmentionable terrors lurked within, but we overcame them as a group, as a party. My companions, we are strong. Is there any way that we can offer you any aid at this point?
You did, babe. You bought me a great bottle of wine that gave me a good memory.
Oh, but there's so much more to be had than that. Oh, there's riches, there's glory, there's power.
You kind of notice that she's been drinking as you guys have been talking. She's actually getting a little flushed in the face.
She's absolutely drunk right now.
Oh, she's buzzed at least. She's like,
okay.
She's about this big. So
Awesome.
So Eric turns and goes, music. And she goes, oh. She goes, the things I do for a roof over my head. She goes, I got to get back to work, boys.
Before that, Nico, I believe you picked something up in the house and I refer to the parchment that had her, I believe it was her name and some notes on it.
Oh, dude, you're so right. You're absolutely right. Good.
Yeah.
Dude, look at this Dude, I want to need
Inspiration for you, Dr. Crawford.
Dude, I want to need a perception roll on that. Dude, that is incredible.
No reason to perception roll it, buddy. Like you've read it before. It is her signature.
Dude,
You've
I know
already-
that. I was
you
just
investigated
being
it before.
I
Oh,
was
okay.
just being kind of funny, but I'm gonna grab her by the arm. I'm gonna be like, "But wait, before you go, can you show me this? Can you tell me what this means?" And I'm gonna give her this piece of parchment.
Oh yeah, she starts crying when she sees it. She goes, "Where did you find this? Is this
I'm gonna say,
in the house?"
"In this same house where we just came from, not 30 minutes ago."
She goes, "The ink still looks fresh." She goes, "That doesn't make any sense."
How long ago did you write this?
3 years.
And I'm just gonna recoil for a second and take it in. I'm gonna be like, can you teach me this song?"
She goes, "Certainly." She goes, "Come with me. I'll teach you." She kind of motions to go back over to the corner where she was playing before, and she's kind of studying the paper while she walks over there. And
So Nico is going to be consumed with her presence for a little while. And he's learning this new song and what it
Yep.
means. Obviously, it's significant.
Mhm.
Dude, Zokk, that was awesome. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
all right, so you go over there and start playing this song with her. And now the three of you are at the bar by yourselves.
Well, gentlemen, I lean over to Rhogar and Disdain. I'd like to thank you for coming with me into that house and for everything that's happened so far. Things didn't go how I'd planned. And I tapped the rapier on my side still. But I promise you I'm going to make it up to you. I promised you that Von Richten or his family would pay you. Since neither of those seem to be a possibility at this point, I assure you I will find a way to compensate you for your trouble. And I'm thinking I might be able to find a buyer soon, hopefully, for Miss Julie's trinket that we located soon. I want you two to split the earnings from that. Just the two of you.
Thank you.
Oh,
So Eric, who doesn't look like he's really paying attention, goes, "If you got something to hawk, you need to go over to Bildreth's,
Bildress. Who would that be?
the only mercantile in town." He kind of gives you generic instructions on where it is.
Okay. Bildreth's.
Bildreth.
All right. So I've got directions to Bildress. We can check him out once it's daylight, I would imagine. I'm actually going to pull out that parchment from the square, the one that Strahd's declaration was on, not the Burgermeister. I want to compare that to the letter I got from Gustav Durst, from the one that was sent from Strahd supposedly to Gustav Durst. I want to see if the penmanship on those is the same.
And
Perfect match.
Perfect match?
While he's doing that, can I go talk to the table that the Cassius, I think you said his name is?
Yep.
Can we get to
Cassius
that?
is a tall elf
Yeah,
guarding Belphus.
Can we go chat this dude up?
Yeah, you certainly can.
I'm
So
gonna.
I got Dr. Crawford studying the penmanship. I got Nico studying a song, and then Disdain and Rhogar are gonna go talk to Cassius.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. So the two of you walk up to Cassius, and he kind of nods. He goes, "It's good to see something other than a human around here."
Thank you, well, sir.
Yeah, Rhogar asked him, hearing what Belfast told us, was he in the same house that she was in?
He laughs. He goes, "No, I got here by more conventional means. I was riding through a forest. Mist surrounded me, and when it abated, I was here. That was nearly 7 years ago. He sort of sloshes some grape mash into his mouth.
Do you stay at this inn also, or do you
I
have
never
another place?
leave.
Mm.
He goes,
It's not safe otherwise.
he goes, I've left before. I've seen some of the land. I've even gotten out to Vallaki, which is a halfway decent city, if that's your setting.
How
But
far is that?
it's about 2 days travel west. He says,
Mm.
but I like the quiet of Barovia, so long as there aren't mass murders happening. He goes, and Eric gives me a good deal. I chase away riffraff, and he puts a roof over my head.
So this Eric is a good guy then.
No, he's a piece of shit. He goes,
Yeah.
but he does deal fairly for the most part. And it's not like many will give work to an elf around these lands.
We
Because,
were.
he goes, and you can tell he's actually a little drunk. Like, I
Mhm.
used to be one of the greatest thieves in all of Faerun. Look at me now. He just starts laughing. The bodyguard for a halfling and bouncer for a hole-in-the-wall tavern in the shittiest place in the multiverse.
You have one of the best thieves. What were some of your best heists, if you do mind me asking?
He goes, it's impolite to steal and tell, but you're trying to clearly persuade him, right? So give me a.
I would like to. I'd love to use my deception somehow. I'm trying to.
I'll tell you what. You can keep going down that path, or I'll give you investigation because you're kind of digging
Investigation.
into
Okay.
him. Yeah,
Okay.
you got investigation. That'll work. Not, 12 will get you a little bit. So he goes,
Okay.
I might tell you one story. And he recounts this story of an emerald that he stole from a temple to Umberlee, which is a sea goddess in Waterdeep, which is the largest city in Faerun. And you've heard that story. Like, you've actually heard the story about how somebody swiped this emerald straight out of one of the statues of Umberlee, right out of one of her main temples. And you wondered, like, what kind of thief would do something that ballsy? It's pretty bold. But apparently he's the guy.
Well, your reputation precedes it, because I've heard of that. You locked here? What, you haven't been able to leave? What's your story?
You must not have been to the Borderlands yet. He goes, a
Borderlands.
wall of mist as high as a mountain and as far as the eye can see, and gods help you if you try to go through it. It turns to poison in your lungs, and it'll turn you back or it'll kill you. Only the Vistani come and go out of the mist.
What direction is that?
East, west, north, south. Go far enough and you'll eventually hit the wall.
If they don't have so much of a like for us in these parts, is it just this city or is it the entire land? Is there anywhere where?
Vallaki is a little bit more urban of a setting. They tend to be a little bit more tolerant. He goes, I've only been out to, what was the name of that village? As the DM looks up the name of that village. I absolutely am furious at myself for forgetting this right now. Berez. Okay, Kresh. Thank you. Oh, Kresh. Because Kresh, it's a religious community. I'll just put it like that. So they don't have a lot of room in their heart for hatred.
Where is that?
It's to the far west. Go a couple days past Vallaki and you'll find it on the main road.
Quick bio here.
Okay. Well,
Um,
you're learning a song anyway, so that's fine.
yeah, go play your lute somewhere else. We were told about some wedding, I think it was earlier. Do you know anything about
Bad
that?
business, that. And he kind of makes a little holy symbol. None of you guys have religion, so I'm not going to let you roll to see what that is. He says, well, from what I heard, there was a young girl and her betrothed that had a small wedding here a few days ago. Something attacked them, massacred the entire wedding, and apparently all those bodies piled up in the morgue. Something started killing people that worked in the morgue. Place has been boarded up for a few days ever since.
You haven't checked it out at all?
Why would I do such a foolish thing?
You stole that statue?
The only thing of value to steal in this land is probably in that castle up there, and I'm far too much of a survivalist to attempt stealing anything from that place.
We earlier when we were talking to Belfast, she said a bunch of people went up a few years back. Why didn't you go?
Give me a perception roll, my friend. You don't have it, so it's disadvantage.
So it's just D20.
2 and take the lower. Nothing bad, just curious. So let's just keep going. So you ask why he didn't go with the wizard, the mage?
Why didn't he try to get out?
Because I've seen that type before. Master of the universe, has walked through the different planes, commander of the powers of the gods. Because Strahd is something very different than any other enemy. Here he is like a god. Because I knew the man would fail. I had no desire to be a part of such a losing enterprise. Though he did take
Strahd,
quite a few villagers with him. He kind of laughs at that.
and Strahd, have you met him?
I have seen Strahd. I would not go so far as to say we have met.
What made you so confident that they were going to lose?
History. Strahd has been lord of this land for, by all counts, many generations. No one knows exactly how long, but someone like that must be quite powerful indeed. It's not uncommon for someone like me, an elf, to live that long, but he is either a very powerful magic user or he is something else entirely, and neither bode well for those that would oppose him.
Can I ask you something else? Being an elf, you understand a little bit about your age. Have you noticed you're getting any older in the 7 years that you've been here? Has there been any change in that?
I've got an ulcer. That's probably just because of the food. The only decent food in this town are Olaf's sausages. He goes, no, I've not noticed anything about my aging. But who's to say? I'm an elf. I age slowly. He goes, look at Rahadin over there. You would never guess that man is 600 years old.
What do you know of him?
Everything. Nothing. Before Strahd ever showed up, I knew his legend as one of the deadliest warriors among all the elven tribes. He is a very deadly opponent, but I heard that he served a human family, which is ridiculous. Why would an elf do such a thing? But apparently that family was the Tsarevich family. He counts Strahd as a brother. He goes, and if you get close enough to him, you'll understand what I mean. If you pay attention, you can hear the ghost of his enemies screaming. They seem to follow him around wherever he goes, though if he notices, he pays them no heed as far as I can tell.
I'm gonna offer to go get some more wine for this guy and get another beer and come back.
Cool. So take another
2 gold?
just a gold cover both would be fine.
Okay.
You're paying
I'll
for
take
this
a
one
gold.
yourself.
Yeah, I got it.
Cool.
It-
Yeah. Oh, thank you, my scaly friend. Yes. To dragonkin everywhere.
Now, would Dr. Crawford have overheard this conversation while he was comparing the penmanship?
You would have, yeah. I would say by now you've kind of come over and been a part of it, and you do know that it's a perfect match on the penmanship.
I'm going to begin to start knocking a little bit, mildly, in Thieves' Camp and see if this guy notices.
Raps right back at you, very smoothly.
All right. Over the course of the next minute or so, I'll keep rapping out a message saying, "If I find work, are you interested, or are you retired?"
He sort of raps back to you like maybe, but details must be discussed.
Understood.
Okay.
And just a pleasure meeting you. Kind of ending it.
So Nico, as you're playing the song with her, you know how like music can be infused with the weave, which is magic, right? And create different effects. And as you by now you've mastered this song. You've got this song on lockdown. All of a sudden you strum a chord and just pour a little bit of your magical energy into it, and you hear a click across on the other side of the bar, and then Eric starts cursing. He goes, "What the hell?" He goes, "I locked this thing." And he seems to be fiddling with something under the bar. He goes, "How did it open?" And you hear a clank as it sort of pushes back. And now when you play this song once per day, it casts the spell Knock, which will unlock a lock.
Nice.
So that's a freebie.
Yep.
Cool.
So if I screw up, he can blow a spell slot to.
Absolutely.
It's
Okay.
it's an ability. This doesn't burn a spell slot.
Okay.
Damn.
I love it.
All right. Do you guys want to have any other interactions with these guys?
I think I'm done with these guys for now.
Okay.
We know where to find them.
Okay, so
I-
speaking out of character here, so have we even attempted to interact with the trifecta, the triad over here? Are we all too scared of all that?
No,
Is that what has happened?
I don't think Rhogar or Disdain needs to go talk to these folks.
I'm not gonna.
No, they don't.
I'm not gonna go talk to them, but I'm gonna go and buy them another bottle of those things.
Of Shatala
Because-
Stomp?
Oh, the Chatal. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
We
All
are blowing through gold, guys.
You better be careful, otherwise Miss Julie's amulet's not going to cover all of this.
No. This is because of the initial money that we got. I only bought
He
like
still has money.
like
Oh,
a
okay.
bottle and a backpack.
I still have
right?
some money, and I got, I think, 30 gold. I think I got like 60 gold total.
And I think without much word, passing it through Eric, getting him that third bottle in 3 days is going to be.
He's so overjoyed. He's like,
Right.
He's dancing.
And then it's coming from the two weirdos over here, without any talking, just passing from Eric saying it's from these guys. Would be a good gesture for us to start off with.
okay. So you
And
do
we'll,
that. Eric's
raise a glass to those
overjoyed.
guys.
Eric's overjoyed. He takes it over. You see him kind of whispering. You see the human man kind of cross his arms and he just kind of gets quiet for a minute. The elf just sort of looks up at all of you, sort of studying you for the first time maybe. But the blonde man goes, "What are you doing?" He like yells out across the bar. He goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Come over here. Introduce yourselves." He goes, "Don't be strangers. Come here. You beautiful blue man. Get over here."
I walk over, but I also, at the point, I grab Nico by the shoulder and I bring him with me. Just, I need some charisma with this.
All right. Anybody not going?
I'm gonna lumber over,
Okay.
but behind Nico.
Okay. All right. So everybody's going over.
Yeah, we're going. Let's
Yeah,
go.
okay,
Alright.
we're going.
So you guys come over to these guys, and you know, the blonde goes, "Eric, be a dear and grab us some additional chairs, man." And Eric goes, "Yes, yes, Lord Escher, right away." And he runs and he starts grabbing chairs and dragging them over. And Escher goes, "Well, technically, I'm not a lord, but who am I to correct a commoner?" And sort of teases at his own joke. But none of the other two guys don't seem to laugh. So yeah, so the bottle is there. Eric brings some more glasses. It's enough for everybody to have a little bit. Um, Anybody not want a glass of this wine?
Rhogar wants another beer.
Eric goes, "All right, your funeral." Brings you another beer. Um, and
Nico is not going to drink. He's already drunk on music
okay,
right now.
okay.
Atmosphere. Yeah.
Wow.
So when you sort of say nah, pass, the blonde man goes. He goes, "Vistani, a Vistani that doesn't want to have a drink, that's just, I've seen it all now." He goes, "You're going to offend me if you don't have a little, at least for the toast."
And I'm going to say, well, on second thought, I am Nico Tirada at your service. If you want me to drink, Nico would drink. It is no thing.
Wonderful. So you're handed a glass. So we got beer for Rhogar. We got a glass for you. We got a glass for Disdain, I assume.
Mhm, Yep.
Okay, Dr. Crawford,
I'll take a glass.
glass.
I'm not going to be rude.
Rahadin takes one. Escher has one. Ismark, he takes it, but he sort of gruffly pulls it across the table. And then the blonde goes, "Now, what should we drink to? I know exactly what we should all drink to. Let us drink to a long life." And he holds his glass out.
I'll drink to that. Mm.
Okay. So you guys all clank. And Ismark does not clank. And you guys finish taking your sip. And it's, by the way, the first time you guys have actually tasted this wine. Actually, Nico, you had it before. I should have described it. It's exceptional. It's a absolutely lively, beautiful, vibrant, exceptional red wine. And you see, let's see, who's got perception? So Dr. Crawford and Nico, give me a perception roll.
Can I give the doctor my bardic inspiration on this one?
No, this is happening too fast. So
Okay.
you
I
could have
have
given it
a
to him early, and then he had it in the pocket.
Sure,
But
I
you
got
wouldn't
it.
have known.
Cool.
It lasts for 10 minutes. So in this kind of interaction, it's hard to time it. All right, so we've
Sorry, I
got a
accidentally
beautiful
posted it
roll
in
from
the
Nico.
Serpents channel.
That's
Oh,
quite a hit.
hey, they're gonna be wondering what that's about.
What's
They're like, hey,
happening?
this doesn't get me nature gear.
Okay,
Oh,
Dr.
wow.
Crawford.
Okay.
Dr. Crawford, you don't really notice anything, but Nico, you notice that Escher does not drink, even though he does the motion. It's only like a half motion, and he
Okay.
doesn't drink it. But Ismark doesn't drink at all. And in fact, when everyone else puts their glasses down, Ismark immediately backhands his glass and it just crashes on the ground and the music stops and everyone kind of looks up and he goes, "This is ridiculous. Because this whole thing is a joke and a farce." He goes, "You came here to threaten me and I won't have it." And Rahadin looks at him and he goes, "My son, I'm not here to threaten you. I'm here to save you. Think on my offer. We'll be in touch. I'm sorry for your father's death. It's a shame." And when he stands up, for a split second, all of you hear screams. Like it's very low. It's like way in the background, like it's happening 100 feet away outside. But you hear a bunch of agonizing screams, all sort of in a cacophony at once. And it just flares up and then it goes away. And he whips his cloak around him and he goes, "Escher, are you coming?" And Escher kind of looks at all of you and goes, "I don't know. Yes, I guess I'll come too, but I hope to see you all again sometime soon." And he smiles, and when he smiles, you see little pointed teeth. And the two men walk out. And
So-
Ismark just sort of puts his head in his hands and leans on the table.
So the blonde and the elf left.
Yes.
Ismark is still here.
Ismark. Okay. Oh, let's home in.
What's the blonde's name again?
Escher. Eschcher.
Okay.
Lord Escher, but yeah.
Lord Escher.
I'm gonna immediately turn to Ismark and say, I truly apologize, sir. I was not meaning to interrupt. I just wanted to express my goodwill. I was not here to do anything other than that.
So you say that, and he looks up and he smiles. He goes, "Thank you." He goes, "You seem like a good enough man. I appreciate that." He goes, "I'm Ismark. I'm the son of the burgomaster." And he stops and he says, "Well, I'm the son of the former burgomaster. My father died a few days ago, and anyways, it doesn't matter, I suppose. Nothing matters really."
I've heard inklings of the tragedy that has happened a couple days ago, and I am extremely sorry for your loss and anything that has happened to you during or beyond this.
Thank you, my friend. That is something I wish to hear from people in this village, but they are too afraid. They saw that Strahd made Amal the burgomaster the next day after my father died, and I think they all think, and they're probably right, that my father's death is no accident.
Nico is going to pipe up here and attempt to lift his spirits with a song.
Okay.
So, do I need to do a performance roll here to find out how?
Yeah, do a performance. You're like, let me cheer you up, my friend, and you start playing a song. Okay. So you start playing, and it it also like gets Belfast kind of trumming in too. Kind of nods at you from across the room, kind of giving you some support. And Ismark says, "Well, I'm not very much in the mood for music, but I appreciate the effort. You seem like good people. Please sit down. Sit down. No sense in me being unkind to visitors. Father always had me greet new visitors to Barovia anyway, so." He goes, I hope you've enjoyed yourself here. How long have you been here?
Only a couple hours so far. We
Ah.
just arrived.
Well, I'm sorry that you find us in such a state of disarray.
Nico will tell him there's surely no disarray, only pain, and we are only here to help you and others progress past the.
Could I ask you, if it isn't too hard, who is hanging in the street out there?
A man who dared say what we all are thinking, that Amal does not deserve to be the burgomaster, despite his noble upbringing and his wealth, and apparently his favor with Count Strahd. My father was grooming me to be burgomaster, and that man made it public that he thought so, and he was hanged by Amal for it.
Politics.
Politics in Barovia is deadly. He says, you said you were here to help. How much do you mean that?
With all of my being, and I know if I know my companions as much as I think I do, and I know them, I believe we are all in for you, sir. I am Nico Tirada at your service.
I am Ismark Karlovich. It is a pleasure to meet all of you. He says, I do need help. I need help in a bad way. He goes, I hesitate to give detail, though I know you'll want to know more. But my sister, Irina, is in danger. And I'm all that's left to protect her. And I don't think I'm up to the task. Our home is been attacked every night at midnight for the past 2 nights. And I have to get back there and do what I can. And I'm worried that our defenses won't hold tonight. They've already been ravaged. No one in the village is willing to help. They're all too afraid. I must protect her. She is a light in this dark world. Would you all be willing to help me?
Nico is going to look at Ernest and Rhogar and Disdain.
I'll look at Rhogar and Disdain and beckon to them, like, do as you please, I guess.
Attacked by what?
The undead, wolves as big as horses.
Big horse wolves. Simple. We've dealt with at least one of those by now.
I know I'm asking you to risk your lives, and I don't have hardly anything to give you as reward, but my thanks and gratitude.
Well, your knowledge of Barovia would be something that would be utmost value towards us, and we would love to help you during this time of need. And we don't need your family to suffer any further than it has been. I do feel that me and my party here will be able to give you a bit of a hand, especially if it's over a couple wolves.
And you are truly sent here by the gods. I was about to leave when Rahadin and Escher stopped me. I'd come here tonight to see if I could find help, and they sat down and offered me their help. Of course, their help is to take my sister away and let Count Strahd protect her. And I could not, in good conscience, allow them that. So it is a blessing that I have met you here tonight. It is more than I can think is coincidence. Maybe the gods have sent you, though they don't seem to care much for Barovia at all.
And we can only hope that we perform to the god standards. And I'm going to give Disdain Bardic Inspiration here. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Because he dug my jam when I
Yep.
was jamming on it.
So you got a D6 you can add to a D20 roll, bro.
Yep.
Perfect.
He goes, I'm ready to go back to my house. Midnight approaches in the next hour. Do you all, are you ready to go with me?
And
Yes,
Rhogar looks at Nico and nods towards the fellow Visanti over there, asking if he wants to talk to them first.
And I'm going to tell Rhogar, I'm going to say, no, it is too late, for I have left the fire.
Then Rhogar stands up, slams the rest of his ale, and says, "Let's go."
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah. So you
quickly
guys.
before we leave, I look at the wine that's all around there, and I see what's left, and I don't have any distrust just to go and start slamming everything that's left there, even taking the last of the bottles, start pounding back those. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
all right, we're going out in the middle of the night. I need some courage. All right, let's do this.
So
Nice.
I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna give you temporary. I'm gonna give you 3 additional hit points.
Okay.
But
Nice.
you're gonna roll disadvantage on anything that's dexterity related.
All right.
Hey, you still got my +6, man. So
Yeah,
hopefully
exactly.
that comes in
Level
handy.
it out.
All right.
So,
I'm making a note. Don't get drunk.
Don't get drunk. For now. I'm sure there's other times where it's like, oh, you can only see these creatures if you're drunk.
So you guys follow Ismark through the village. You're not really accosted by anything as you leave the town. On the edge of town, you get to this area that's a little more forest, and Kind of a little bit separate from the main part of the village. You're kind of going up a hill a little bit, and you kind of get more of a wider view of Barovia. You see that it's not a very big village by the standards you guys have all kind of become accustomed to. But there's decent population there. But you can see in the very far distance, you see what looks to be a wall of mist on the horizon. But as you turn away from that towards the direction that Ismark's walking, you see a house. Uh, might even call it a mansion. It's a very large home. But as you guys walk through the gate to this house, and he's talking about his sister and talking about how proud he is of her and how wonderful she is and how he can't wait to introduce all of you to her, you hear a blood curdling scream. And you start to run through the mist, and as you get closer to the house, you see walking up the hill a group of undead in sort of villagers' clothing, just sort of walking as a mob towards the house. And we're going to roll initiative.
Oh boy. Here we go.
And then this is where I get to share my new thing I did with you guys. Kind of proud of this. I hope it comes out the way I want. This is the initiative tracker. So this will help us keep this all together in our heads. So, all right. So my first initiative roll I got is from Dr. Crawford with an 11. So Dr. Crawford, we're going to slide you right on over here to 11.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Nice.
We got a 4 for Rhogar. So 4 you go.
Enos gave you a 13, I think.
Oh, 13. Okay. Thank
Yep.
you.
Mhm.
All right. And then we've
And-
got a 10 for Disdain. Okay, great. All right. Now let's roll these guys.
And how many are there?
Let's
Great
see.
question. Looks like from where you can see, there's about 5 of them.
Are they? Oh, we'll talk about grouping up in a second. Yeah.
They're very slow, so their initiative gets a -2, but they do roll high, so they get a 14. And so the zombies are going to be combatant 1. So what'd they roll? They rolled a 14. Okay, so they are first in the order. Okay, so you guys. Oh, and then I got to roll this mark. My bad. 15 for this mark. So he is going to be your ally. So as an ally, there he is. Okay.
Okay. Good.
Does this all look good on your screen?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Like
All
it.
right. All right. So we'll start with Ismark. So Ismark runs ahead, and it's almost like you can tell he's fought these sort of things before because he knows he's faster. So he runs up to the door, and he starts banging on the door, and he says, "Irina, Irina, are you okay?" And you hear a voice that says, "Yes, I'm frightened. They're here earlier than they normally are." And he turns and he goes, "I brought help. Stay locked inside." And he pulls his blade and he basically guards the front door and readies an action. So now these creatures start making their way up, and let's get a little battle grid action going here. Two, two, two. Okay, shrink you guys down just a little bit. Again, tell me if this doesn't look good on y'all's side.
It's
Yeah,
It
that's
perfect.
fine.
looks amazing.
Looks
I mean, I
good,
can
man.
see his tomato plants, cabbage heads.
All right, good.
Wonderful.
Okay,
I think I
so
saw
this is
Peter Rabbit.
I love it. Okay, so this is you guys, and then start getting these guys activated. Okay. These guys are kind of coming up the hill here. couple on this side. And then we got a couple on the other side. Okay. So they're in the order next. So these guys are just going to move forward a little bit, kind of shambling towards the house. And they're very slow, so that's about all they can do. Okay, next in the order is going to be, looks like it's Nico.
Okay, so so how big of an area is Okay, so if I cast Thunder Wave, how far away from my party do I need to be? It says
It's
an
centered on
area.
you as a melee. So like basically think of it as this circle that emanates out from you, right? So it's more about how close to the party are you, because if you're close to them, you'll hit them. But if you're away from them, they won't get hit in the blast wave.
Okay, so I'm gonna cast
I'm looking
Invisibility.
at it. Okay. Cool. I like that. So you just you go invisible.
Boom.
Okay. You gonna do any movement?
Okay, so I'm gonna move closer to the house as far as I can. What will you permit me to do here? Like, because I'm
You want to go
basically
towards the house, or you want to go? Where are you going?
no, I want to go towards the house because I'm thinking the ghouls are going to come to the house eventually. I
So
want
you
to
want
keep
to
up a
kind of
thunder wave.
go get where they're gonna be and be ready to
Yeah,
fire that off.
that's
Okay.
right. We're ready to fire for thunder wave,
Okay.
but I don't want to hit my party.
No, I got you.
So it says it's pushed back 10 feet. So
Yeah. So you're able to get to about here,
okay,
and
cool.
yeah. So you kind of ascertain that that's the path they're going.
Okay, and I'm still invisible, correct?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Next in the order is going to be Dr. Crawford.
All right. So where did our ally, Mr. Ismark, go
He's
to?
at the front door.
Which one's is that the one next to Nico?
Yep.
Yeah, he's pretty much at the front door. I wish I had made a token for him, but I didn't.
Okay. I'm going to move up along with Nico then. And I'm actually going to try to use... Well, actually, before that, I'm going to use my insightful fighting ability. Apparently, as a bonus action, I can decipher the tactics of another I can see. It's not incapacitated, which would be those undead-looking guys. Probably the closest one. I have to make a wisdom insight check versus the target's charisma deception check. So it's going to be an opposed roll on our part.
Okay.
If I succeed, I can make
so
sneak attacks like that.
sorry, trying to get the volume right. I can't see my cursor. There we go. Okay, that's better. All right. So I'm sorry. You wanna use your ability to basically investigate
Get an
them?
idea of how this guy works. So I can, if I start attacking him, I can do sneak attacks. Too.
Okay. So you wanna get a little closer.
Okay.
Because what's the range?
It just says that I can see. I don't think there is.
Oh,
a range.
then you're solid. Okay.
Yeah.
And then so we've got to roll. What do they have to roll against it?
I'm going to be rolling insight versus your deception. Charisma.
Oh, it's a -3 modifier. So let's see. 4. Yeah, you win. So you figure out these are zombies.
Okay.
You know that they can't be poisoned. Poison's absolutely worthless against them.
Mhm.
You know, they're not necessarily difficult to take down outside of the fact that they sometimes get back up.
Okay. All right. So if I choppy that guy, I get sneak attack damage on him, from what I understand.
Double tap.
Cool. Okay. Next in the order is going to be Disdain.
All right. So I'm gonna use my Burning Hands ability.
Okay.
So I get to use it once per light rest.
What's the range on
And,
that?
It's a 15-foot cone. So
Okay, so
do I
you're going to
move
have
closer?
to get, you're going to have to get, so that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, now you're close enough here.
Okay, perfect. And so, one sec.
So they're grouped up
So-
enough, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's a 15-foot cone that
Mhm.
they have to make a dexterity saving throw,
Which they're just absolutely terrible at. So
and it still does damage even if it's a successful one.
they fail.
All right, and so
They
it's
fail.
a 3d6.
Get some.
So a 4d6 is what it says on my spell sheet.
Are you
Yeah.
calculating the bard inspiration?
Now I'm gonna also, so I have to actually do. So it does hit, even if I
Oh
don't
yeah.
do my.
So this is an AOE spell, so it absolutely hits. The save is to see if they get out of half the damage or sometimes all the damage depending on the spell. But they failed,
right.
so they're going to take full damage.
So it's 4d6 plus the bardic inspiration. Can I use that?
You can't use bardic inspiration for damage.
Oh, okay.
But you could use it for the if you have an attack roll or a check.
Okay, but they
no,
did the check this time.
and that only lasts 10 minutes. It was given to you at the bar, and it's been more than 10 minutes to walk out here.
Oh
So,
shit, dude.
yeah.
That's crazy.
But I will tell you this: if you cast it through that orb that you found in Death House,
Oh yes.
you get to add the D4 of necrotic damage on top of the fire damage.
So 1d4. Perfect.
Rocky's
I'm doing that.
Dude, Rocky's the best DM in the world. Period. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
we're a bunch of noobs. He has to help us.
All right.
Yeah.
So you hit these guys full blast. There's this red hot fire that washes over them. A little crackle of green necrotic energy sort of goes through it as well. They stagger back. They're on fire, and you literally burned away. Like some of them lost an arm. Some of them lost like a chunk of their torso. One of them lost half of his head.
Yeah, dude.
They're zombies, so they're still lumbering towards you, but you burn the fuck out of them. Okay.
Perfect.
Nice.
So next in the order is going to be Rhogar.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was gonna light them on fire, but they're already on fire.
Do it again.
Well, I'm just gonna kill them now. So are they in a group?
Well, you can see
All
them
right.
on the screen, right? Like they're
Yeah.
kind of
Okay.
shoulder
They're
to shoulder
clustered.
over here.
Yep.
All right. So I'm gonna move in front of Disdain.
25, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay.
And I'm going to attack the closest one.
Okay. He's got an armor class of 8.
That's nothing. You're gonna muck that.
Don't roll more ones.
Oh,
Bump
shit.
it.
You just screwed us.
Bump it. He's got this.
It's +6, I think, right?
Oh, yeah.
Let me see. I got your character sheet right here.
Because I got the
Rhogar.
Magic sword
When-
is +1. You probably have about +3 from strength.
What are
and
you
then
using?
+2
The mace or
proficiency.
the short or the longsword?
I'm gonna use the sword with a +1.
That's +6.
Oh.
Then.
Windmill sword, dude. Yep.
Yep, you get to add a 6 then. Oh yeah, you sliced right
Damn,
into
dude.
this dude.
Oh, that's brutal.
So we roll damage now, right?
Yeah.
Are you wielding it one-handed with a shield,
Yeah,
or are you
yeah,
wielding
I
it
got-
two-handed? Okay.
I got a shield, yeah.
All right, so that's 1d8 plus your strength, which is 3. So 1d8
Plus-
and plus the 1, so 1d8 plus 4.
It's +6 because I got fighting.
Oh, you did put a space in there and
Yeah,
missed the
I
R.
know. So I got fighting too, so I can do 2 more, right?
You got fighting?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for your damage, plus 2 more. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So it's actually 1d8 plus 7 then, right?
Oh,
Am I right on that? Is my calculation right? No, it's 3 plus
Uh,
2, so 5. Yeah, so it's
Plus-
6. You're
plus
right. It's plus
6.
6.
Okay.
Yeah, you were correct.
Yeah.
So 10. Okay, cool. So you slice into this guy. How's he go out?
I take my sword like a golf club and I swing upwards through his
oh,
anus area and slice him straight up and down.
You
Damn,
try to
dude.
bisect him. Okay.
So
So let me make a
violent.
quick roll. This is a roll you only make with certain types of zombies. So
Oh no.
Uh-oh. I don't like that.
Making sure I cut his head in half, basically.
Okay. So you come up into him right up the midsection. He almost kind of splits in half. He sort of falls backwards, but you weren't able to get all the way up through his head, right?
Okay.
So you pull out. You got that old black blood dripping off the blade, and you turn to the next one, and then all of a sudden you hear, "Arrgh," and it literally like waddles up, half split in two, and is sort of wavering there, but still capable of attacking. Basically, he's back with 1 hit point,
Okay.
but he's still active. All right,
Yay.
back to top of the order, which is Ismark.
Who's
So-
useless.
So Ismark, I really wish I had remembered to make a token for him, but that's fine. So he's just standing at the door, and he's like, the south side, they're going to try to break in. And he just kind of stands there with his, standard looking longsword in his hand. And then as soon as he says that, you guys hear a howl split the air.
Oh
And
shit, dude.
and then you guys, those of you that are around this side, you see these wolves come lumbering up the hill, and they are as big as a fucking horse with red glowing eyes. And so we're gonna have those guys roll for initiative now.
How many of them are there?
2,
All right, so we have 7 total enemies.
and they rolled a 3. So all right, they're gonna be combatant 2, and they're 3. Okay. So we're to the zombies now. So the zombies start making the way. These two come up to the house and start banging on the windows and trying to pull. Oh shit! I shrunk that guy. Start trying to pull boards off the side of the house. This guy's gonna attack. Well, they're gonna swarm Rhogar. They're gonna swarm Rhogar. They're always gonna attack just the enemy that's closest. So Rhogar, buckle up. You're gonna have 3 attacks come at you.
Okay.
All right. So you, according to my calculations, have a staggering armor class of 18.
19.
19.
And I got a +1 cloak.
Fuck, I forgot about that. Damn, you're tanky. Okay. So these zombies are just like clawing at you, and they're hitting you, but they can't even get through your armor or your shield. All right. Next in the order is going to be Nico.
Okay, so I'm invisible.
Yep.
Nobody can see me.
Nobody. Not even your LS.
So how far can I move in this form? Is it the same 30 feet?
So long as you stay concentrated. Yeah, or you could do what's called a dash, and that's where you give up doing an action to double your movement for that round.
Okay, so I'm going to. Dude, I really want to double back behind this group to the north, but I'm not seeing the spaces. So each space, each square, if I can't see a path through them, does that mean anything or does it not?
No, you can move through.
Okay, I'm going to move through them and behind them at least
Okay.
2 blocks, at least 10 feet, and I'm
Okay.
going to ready a Thunder Wave spell behind them.
Okay. So let me get that figured out real fast. Just 1 second.
Yeah.
You're frozen
Dal, did
right
you
now.
put up the fog of war there?
No, we're we're a little frozen.
Are you guys frozen right now?
Yeah.
My bad. I'm
Is it-
trying to address this no Ismark issue. So
It's weird because you're not frozen in your actual screen, but once
okay.
you were blown up, you were.
Give me just a second.
That's
I'll
right.
figure this out.
Okay.
Uh,
We're good. We know where he's at. He's at the door doing nothing. We got it.
well, I'm trying to. That might change.
He's useless. Useless.
What do you always say? It is nothing.
It is nothing. It is nothing. Lunati.
So let me just ask a question while you're doing this,
Yep.
so we fill the time. So McFerret is wanting to go behind them and thunder wave them. Would that not blow them like behind me? And here's the question. That's fine, but would they get an advantage like attack on me? Or no?
Depends what happens exactly. So,
Okay.
Well, I'm going to damage the shit out of him too.
which I may not end up knowing exactly what that is until it's.
And
Okay. Well,
Until
I
it's
was
time.
quick
just
question.
I was just curious because if I'm right, if I move out of their melee range, they can do like I think what you call it, an advantage attack or whatever.
Depends on what's happening, but that it's called opportunity
Dude,
attack.
That's what it was. Okay.
If I go behind him, they're going to take, and I get this spell off. They're going to take a 2d8 plus a 10-foot pushback. But if they save it, they're going to take half damage and not get pushed back.
Okay.
No,
It's their
I-
business. They're already like limping. I've just got to
yeah, yeah.
obliterate
So
them.
tell me if this is what you had in mind, Nico. So you're now behind them, invisible, and on
Yeah.
your next turn, you're going to blast them.
Absolutely, but if I can get away with it, I want to do one more block to the west so that I'm well away from Rhogar at the front line, and I still catch the ghouls.
Okay.
One more block if I can get away with
one
it.
more block. Okay, so it's a 10-foot radius, right?
Yeah,
So from here you would hit
5, 10.
It's 10.
5.
Yeah. So this should.
Oh,
work.
yeah, okay.
This should work. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay, cool.
So
cool.
okay. So you invisibly just run past them.
Yep.
But here's the deal: you didn't
Ticka,
burn
ticka.
enough movement to give up your action, so you still have your action.
All right, I'm casting Thunder Wave, dude, right
Okay.
now.
Your invisibility
Skadoosh.
will end because it
Yep.
ends when you attack, but you cast Thunder Wave.
I'm
and,
in it to win it.
All right. So Thunder Wave is going to require looks like it requires a failed Constitution saving throw. Okay. Well, they do have decent Constitution, my friend. So I'll do one saving throw for all of them.
And so when I do this Thunder Wave spell, it says
fail.
it is a Thunder Wave is a 2d8 plus 1d8 SL.
Okay. So it says Thunder Wave. What I see is it's 2d8, and then they're pushed 10 feet.
Yeah,
Okay,
the,
So,
the, the
so
SL
yeah,
is
so
spell
SL
slot.
stands for spell slot. So if you cast it with the level 1 spell slot, it's 2d8. If you cast it with the level 3 spell or level 2 spell slot, it's 3d8. If you cast it with the level 4 spell slot, it's 4d8. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
The higher
So
the spell slot, the higher the damage.
I'm going to cast it with the level 2, so that's 3d8.
3d8, yes sir.
Do I have any other modifiers?
No, not
I'm
for
looking.
this.
Okay, cool.
Damn. Okay. So you invisibly sneak behind these guys, cast Thunderwave. Poof. They try to resist the sound wave that sort of echoes out. Rhogar, it's just enough that I don't know if you have any facial hair, but if you did, it would just knock your beard back a little bit, you know?
Singe it. He's singed.
But you watch as that one that you gravely injured, that one just disintegrates from the sound waves. The other two, both because they've been damaged from the fire, the sound wave knocks them back and they're sort of staggering. And I need to roll to see what happens because they may or may not. So I got to do 17. No, they both just sort of disintegrate at the sound. And they're out as well. So Nico, you took out all 3.
Okay, and I'm gonna shout out Lunati.
Beautiful. Okay, next in our order is going to be Dr. Crawford.
And I'm no longer invisible, so you guys got to protect me. Please help me.
Rhogar is here.
I am, if I'm reading this map right, it looks like I should be able to see one of those wolves that's down on the
You
road
do
south
see
of
the
me.
dire wolf coming down the road.
I'd like to make my insightful fighting check on that guy so I
Okay.
can get some information about him and get my sneak attack. And then after that's done, I'm going to move down to where Ismark is,
Okay.
to where we're next to each other.
Is insightful fighting, remind me, is that a bonus action or an action?
It's a bonus action.
Great. Okay.
So
you can still dash to get to Ismark if you wanted
Correct,
to.
yes. I can
Okay,
move and
cool.
still use an action to dash if I need
Great.
to.
Okay. So I've got to roll perception.
Deception. Your deception versus my insight.
Oh, they're wolves. They're not like the most deceptive of creatures.
That's
I rolled
right.
good.
And I love the new Ismark
5.
token that appeared out of nowhere by the light of the moon. Well done, Rocky.
All right.
Did that on the fly.
I love it.
Yep. And remind me, what information does it give you?
So, by the book, from what I don't think it actually gives me information. That was just
Nice little bonus.
doing stuff about the zombies. We don't have to keep doing that if you don't want to. But the big thing is that it gives me what I need to know in order to make sneak attacks against them. That's not the same as advantage, but I
Right.
can make the sneak attacks against them if I get a melee attack off against them.
Cool. And then so what's it called?
It's called Insightful Fighting.
And you can
It's
do
in
it
Xanathars.
anytime.
Yeah, it's just an unlimited
No
use
limit.
bonus action.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's sometimes at my discretion I'll give you information, sometimes I won't.
Whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm
Yeah.
never going to expect anything like
Okay,
that.
cool.
Just
So for now, you see how it's moving. It's moving like a big ass dangerous wolf, and so you're like, well, I think I know how I might be able to get a good attack on that. And you run, and you're over here with Bismarck.
I'm there to
Bismarck,
support Ismark. Yeah,
And yeah,
that's my turn.
okay. Next in the order is going to be Disdain.
All right. So I'm gonna go and get out in front over here, get a little bit closer to this action to try and get on the other side. And I
Okay.
think I'm actually gonna probably make a full dash movement.
Okay.
Right.
So you want to go? So dash will get you about right there.
Yeah.
Okay, actually,
And I
more
don't
like
really
right there.
have anything else I can do. So
Okay, so you've dashed and you're there. All right, next in the order is going to be Rhogar.
Hmm. I'm not anywhere close enough to attack these folks, am
You could dash and cover 60 feet.
I? If I just take my normal 30,
Mm-hmm.
would I be in range to shoot one of these dogs with a silver
Yes.
bullet?
Yes.
And I'll shoot one of them in the head with a silver bullet.
I think so. Yes, you should be good. Okay.
Okay.
All right, we got an armor class of 14.
All right. And what do I roll for the crossbow?
I think we figured out your crossbow is 1d8 plus, or excuse me, 1d20 plus 3.
Yeah, that's right.
And then it's 1d8 plus 1 for the damage. Okay, that's a hit.
1d8 plus what? I'm sorry.
1.
Who knows?
Okay, yeah. This thing sinks right into sort of the neck, shoulder area, and it howls. It definitely hurt it, but it actually just seems pissed off right now. Okay. Next in the order is going to be the wolves. The wolves can move 40 feet, I believe. 50 feet. So.
Oh shit!
All right.
I'm ready.
All right. Prepare your anus. All right. This is
It's prepared.
All right. So these guys do a bite attack with a +5.
All right.
First one misses. Second one hits. When it
I'm
hits
gonna
you-
go and use my shield for the one that
Okay.
hits.
Okay. So
Okay.
that's gonna take your armor class from 14 to 19. He did still roll a 22.
Ah, fuck yeah, shit. So he still hits. Okay.
Okay. Do you still want to burn that spell?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. So you just take the hit.
Yeah.
All right. So it's 2d6 plus 3. Oh, that was 1d6. Let me just roll one more d6 and I'll add it total. 8. Okay, so you're going to take 8 damage disdain, taking you down to 14 hit points. Okay. You need to make a DC 13 strength saving throw.
Okay. So strength is -1. So
Just can he use his? No, can't use inspiration. Never mind.
Correct.
so a DC strength saving throw.
Yep, which you have
So-
-1. So 1d20 -1.
Okay.
Basically, it's just this wolf grabbing you with his jaws, and if you fail a strength saving throw, things get a little dicier. Yeah, so not going to do it. So the wolf jumps on you when he bites you and actually knocks you prone. Now, what prone means is until you stand up, you have a movement of 0. When you stand up, it burns half your movement to stand up. So on your next turn, you would burn 15 feet of movement in order just to stand up and be able to move again. Otherwise, you're at 0 movement. Doesn't impede your ability to attack. Now, the way I always play it is if an enemy is attacking you with melee while you're prone, they get advantage. But if a ranged person attacks you while you're prone, they get disadvantage.
That makes
Okay.
sense.
All right, so you're basically flat on your back with two big ass wolves on top of you. All right, coming back to
Great.
initiative, it is going to be Rhogar's turn.
Oh, my turn.
Go get some.
Do we skip Nico?
No.
I think.
Oh no, we're rolling back to the top. So this
Yeah,
is
now-
yeah, my bad.
I'll go again though if you want me to.
No, you'll get your chance. All right, so Ismark is
I have a plan.
yeah, he's gonna just stay. He does not want to risk anything getting into arena.
Yeah, useless.
All right, next in the order is going to be the zombies. So the 2 zombies down here. Let's see. Let's make a roll. Oh, minus, not plus. Okay, this is their strength roll to try to pull the boards out, and so far they haven't been able to pull any boards out. Okay.
We cannot let them pull boards out.
All right.
No.
Next in the order is going to be Nico.
Okay, so I can move 30 feet. Does each
Or
square
dash
represent
60.
dash
Each-
60?
Yeah,
Okay.
5 feet.
Okay, each one represents 5 feet. Okay.
hmm So you can go
Okay.
around the back side, you can go around the front side.
Okay, I'm going to go around the front side and actually
Okay.
cast Healing Word on. I'm going to dash and cast Healing Word on Disdain.
Okay.
Get him back to
Is Healing
whole.
Word an action or a bonus action?
I think Healing Word is a spell. Pretty sure.
It is a spell, but spells can be action, bonus action, or reaction. So I'll help you out here. Let's see what we got.
It's a one action.
Okay, so if you
Is it
dash,
one
you
A?
burn your action. But
Oh, okay.
but where
But I
you
can get
are-
in line of sight without burning that.
Yeah, correct. You can move 30 feet, and then
Yeah.
Healing Word has a 60 feet range.
Yeah, so I can reach him.
So you're fine. So you're going to heal
Yeah.
Disdain for
Yep.
1d4 plus your Charisma modifier.
Okay, cool.
Six. So Disdain, that's going to bring you back up to 20.
Sweet.
Go get some Disdain. Get him.
20 out of 22. Okay. Cool. All right. So next in the order is going to be Dr. Crawford.
All right, I'm going to move down there. It looks like the space directly to Disdain's right. There might be some bushes there. Is that going to be difficult terrain?
No.
Okay, I'm going to move down there.
It's light
And-
bushes.
Okay, I'm going to
Okay.
stab at the wolf that I made the insightful fighting check on.
Okay, cool. So
This is
you-
going to be with my rapier.
Okay.
I believe that is a...
He's got an armor class of, what did I say? 14. It's a hit.
17
And,
beats it.
and you get to add your sneak attack damage.
8 plus 3 plus 2d6.
Now, is this the one that's on him or not?
It is the one that's on him. They're both kind of on him, but this is the one that knocked him down. This is not the one that you injured.
19 damage.
Holy fuck balls.
Get used to seeing that, guys.
Damn.
Love it, Doc. Good
Ooh.
job, Doc.
You just sort of come out of the bush with that rapier. You slice right up its abdomen. You actually watch some blood and guts and stuff spill out. This thing is gravely injured. It's definitely
Tasty.
still going, but it's gravely injured. Okay. Next in the order is going to be Disdain, who's on the ground with 2 Snarling Wolves on top of him.
Go hard, Disdain.
Now, dumb question. They're definitely objects heavier than 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Horses weigh anywhere between 100 and 600 pounds.
They didn't used to weigh things in horses back in the day. Like, that wasn't a thing. I thought it was okay. Either way, I'd ask. I'm gonna go.
A lot of D&D is like questions you know the answer to because you hope the DM just goes with it.
Yeah.
Throw it out there. DM's like, no.
All right.
Like, if I
Can I use
blow on
Mage
them
Hand to
lightly.
throw them across the field? Just wanted to check.
It was gonna be gust, but either way. But
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I'm using prestidigitation to get the hell out of here.
well, I'm gonna try to use firebolt from where I'm laying,
Get it.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that.
and I'm gonna hit the one that the doctor had hit.
Okay.
So
So armor class 14. So roll your spell attack.
Come on.
Kill it before it retaliates against me.
Payback's a bitch.
nat 20.
Nat 20,
That's
buddy. Double damage.
He's like,
Oh,
yeah,
it.
crits, yeah.
Shit.
Bye-bye.
Don't forget your D4 with your orb.
Ugh.
So that would be
Killed
Oh,
him
boy.
and his mama.
Mama Wolf's back at the cave. Feels her baby die.
Just
Has a heart
feeling
attack.
it. Just feeling it.
Some adventure.
14
Kill my
damage.
baby. How's it go out?
This fireball goes and engulfs him and just slowly spreads across his entire body, and you hear him yelp as his skeleton just slowly disintegrates into nothing.
Love it. Yeah, the necrotic energy, the fire, it just engulfs him, and you just watch this thing like yelping and backs away, falling to nothing.
And the last action you do, you point at him and say, your name is now Brad. Change his name.
Rhogar.
Change your name.
Rhogar's
All right. So where am I at? Let's see. I'm at the door.
Mhm.
I can hack this wolf to death, right?
Certainly can try.
Now with those two there, can I?
You move through them.
Okay, because he's still on the ground, so I can just kind of step over him.
Just jump
and
over him.
Get
Yeah.
in the middle.
Yeah, don't worry about me.
Yeah. So I'm gonna, kill this wolf.
Okay, 14 armor class.
Super dead.
Yeah, you kind of jump over Disdain, but you kind of trip on him a little bit too, and sort of stagger and like whiff the air at the wolf.
I'm still drunk, apparently. Keep going.
All right. Next in the order is going to be the wolves. So the wolf, he sees what you did, Disdain, and for a split second, he actually turns to leave. And you watch that red glow in his eyes like flare up a little brighter, and then he turns back even more aggressive than before. He gets advantage because you're on the ground.
Oh, good. Thank you for healing me.
That's a hit. Take 7 damage. You're already on the ground, so you don't have to make that strength check. So you're down to 13 hit points. Okay, updated my sheet. All right, back to top of the order, which is going to be Ismark, who stays at the door.
Yep.
The zombies are now going to keep pulling at the boards. Luckily, these bitches have a -1 streak. And they're rolling terribly, too.
Good.
They're rolling so bad.
Y'all need to stay down there in the
They're
bad
just
rolls.
like they can't figure
Nah.
out how to get the damn the wood off.
They're like brains.
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 Okay, Nico, it's you, buddy.
Okay, so I am actually going to sprint up to the wolf with the red glowing eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I should have enough room left for an action because that wasn't near 30. I'm going to just stab him in the brains with my rapier.
14 armor class.
14 dex. So I get a +5 to hit. Do I roll that in my D20?
D20 plus 5. Get a 14.
Cool. Didn't hit.
Yeah. You same thing. You sort of jump up, and Disdain's there, kind of trying to get up, and
Dude.
you're like trying to trip over him a little bit. And,
Get up, Disdain.
Yeah.
You're tripping everybody. You can lump.
No one's even trying to help me up, just stepping over me.
Dr. Crawford.
Tried to protect you.
Now, if I move behind this wolf here, would I be giving us advantage then because we're flanking it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do
You would
that.
you would also take an opportunity attack because you're moving out of his melee range.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
All right, then I'm just gonna do the bonus action insightful fighting and then an attack. So.
Okay.
All right. So then I have to roll a deception.
Correct. Yeah, that's probably one that you're gonna want to have handy for most of your monsters from now on.
Apparently, you're gonna make the DM work, man.
Yeah, may your
I can
hits be
honestly
true.
say I've never had to make a wolf do a deception roll before.
Oh,
except for that little Red Riding Hood module I did, but
Oh, dude, that's hot.
no, it totally failed. Yeah, you got
All right,
it.
so
You
then
got it.
rolling to attack.
Get it, Doc.
5.
The glass cannon over here.
Ah, son of a bee sting.
Yep, you hit him for 8. Yeah, he's got that silver bolt kind of in his shoulder. You just did a really nice trunk to him, but he's a big boy and he still seems to be going. All right, next in the order is going to be Disdain.
You do realize that was my attack roll, right? That wasn't.
Oh, I thought that was your.
That
damage.
wasn't damage.
Oh,
that was me whiffing.
Thank you for
guessing.
correcting me. I got messed up there.
All right, yeah.
Okay, that's just a miss then.
Okay, yeah.
Nice.
Then he's still going even stronger than I just described.
Oh, shoot.
Okay. All right, now it is going to be Disdain.
All right. Well, I am. Getting up would be an action, right?
Nope,
I can't...
it's not an action. It's just burning half of your movement to stand up.
Okay, so I'll do that right now.
Okay, so you stand up.
And now I'm gonna go and use chill touch on him.
Okay. 14 armor class.
Didn't go.
Nope. You're kind of a little discombobulated standing up, and the wolf's like dashing back and forth, and it sort of jukes out of the way of that spectral hand. All right, now we're going to do next in the order, which is Rhogar.
Am I still stumbling and bumbling, or am I upright?
You're good.
Okay. All right.
If you guys miss, I like to describe why you missed.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
Disdain's fat ass.
Just a quick question. Divine Smite, is that just a once per short rest or no?
No. So long as you have it available, which if you look at your character sheet on the very first page,
yeah,
it says Divine Smite. You can do. Where is it?
Yeah, it's not on my character page. That's why I'm asking.
It's on the second page. When I hit with a melee weapon attack, I can expend a spell slot to do an additional 2d8
So it's a spell
radiant.
slot. Okay.
It burns a spell slot, and it requires that you have a successful hit. So you can wait till after you hit to declare you also add the Divine Smite.
Yeah, it's a bonus action. I just I didn't know if it.
It's not even a bonus action. So when you hit, you can tell me I use Divine Smite with that hit, and just add the damage.
Okay.
It's kind of the unique thing paladins can do. They basically just beef the shit out of their melee hits.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
But it does burn a spell slot.
I'm attacking this dude, by the way.
Okay, 14 armor class.
Yeah, I rolled a 20.
Oh, yeah, you're good. Hit.
Nice.
Right. So this is the one with a silver bolt in his neck, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's let's roll the damage here.
You have to tell me before you do the damage if you do the smite.
Okay. Yeah, let's see. Let's see. You said that earlier. I want to figure out which one I want to use. Hang on.
So what he's looking at, guys, just because you guys may not know, but like paladins also have a lot of spells that are smite spells that are bonus actions. So he can use his class ability, which just adds the 2d8, but then he also has other smites that like do electricity damage or do knock away, or so basically he can just beef out his melee attacks as long as he has the spell slots to do it.
Judgments. Love it.
Basically.
Yeah. So I'm going to thunder smite this thing like a golf club.
Okay.
All right, so that's 2d6. So
Okay.
it's 2d8 plus 2d6, right?
Yep.
Ooh.
Beefy.
It's tough, son.
Thunder smite. Cool.
You got it?
Yep. Okay, how's it go out?
Wow.
So as I said, I pick myself up, and then I come at him swinging like a golf club, very loudly. It's radiant noise, and you hear like a ping, like off the center of a ping golf club, and he just blows up.
Oh yeah, this thing just explodes away. It knocks it like 10 feet away, and you can hear this explosion for 300 feet, according to the spell description.
Correct.
So it's like a thunderbolt just hit the ground right in front of you guys, but it's centered on the wolf, so it like knocks the wolf just like clear back, and then when it lands, it just goes to pieces.
Yeah.
And you guys have destroyed that thing.
So
Now,
we're hoping the noise brings the zombies towards us.
Okay,
the idea.
So the zombies do start lumbering towards you guys. I think they're next in the order. No, it's Ismark, but he's gonna stay there. So so they do start like sort of making their way to you guys. Now sometimes what I'm gonna do, if I know that, for example, like you're just gonna mop up what's left, it's my discretion, but sometimes I'll just do what I call a cleanup. And that means I just say, yeah, you guys finish up the rest, no problem. Sometimes even if it's clearly a cleanup, I'll still run the combat out just to see if you get some damage done to you or some other shit. Maybe because I'm planning something more evil later. I don't know. But in this particular moment, we're just going to do a straight cleanup. And you guys are able to take out the remaining zombies. And
how, though? Tell us how.
I'm going to say just because, so like Nico, you run around the corner and they're starting to attack, and you just pull out your loot and you start playing, and they're like confused for a second, and then Disdain, you light them up with some spells. Rhogar, you run up, smite into them. There's you destroy one of them from Dr. Crawford popping around a tree, and then the other one is sort of staggering there, and then Ismark runs around the corner and slices its head off.
Oh,
he's like, we did it, guys. We did it.
That's awesome. Yeah, but I've got daggers for Rhogar because that last thunder spell was so strong that he cast. Okay, Nico's going to pop up and start cursing him up and down. He's going to like, you idiot! You broke my high E string on my lute. I had to play the entire Song of Enchantment on these zombies without the high E string. You need to be more careful with your spells. Now I need to get a new high E string now.
I love it.
It's broken. It's terrible. It sounded awful.
You owe this man an E string, apparently.
An E string, the first one, not the sixth one.
Disdain offers you should take one of Rhogar's whiskers. Wouldn't that work?
Oh, thank you so much. This will be perfect. The tension is perfect. The twine is perfect. It would be even more beautiful. Thank you, sir.
Love it. So Ismark's like, thank you all so much. You have saved my sister. You have saved our home. You are truly heroes. And he seems like should even be getting a little bit emotional about it, you know?
It's nothing.
You gonna check to make sure she's okay, Ismark?
Oh yes, we must. We should immediately go check on her. And he leads you guys around to the front there, and he knocks on the door, and you hear a woman say, what's going on, Ismark? Are you okay?" He says, "Yes, I'm fine. I'm fine. Open." And give me just a second, guys. I'm trying to get my stuff together
As the
here.
DM's doing that, I'm gonna whisper in Disdain's ear. Maybe next time I should play him a song of inspiration, so he would not be so cowardly. Ismark is so scared all the time. It is nothing for him to be afraid. What is that? A
He's
mouse squeak or what? I don't know. Was it a roach click or cricket stirring? I do not know. Maybe that is a song in itself. I do not know.
His
All I
family is
know
very
is that
lucky. with
all I
him.
know is the man is bullshit for help in times of trouble. Ismark is nothing.
so
He
you
owes us something.
guys so you guys open the door, and you walk into a home that is it it, it one time was probably pretty well decorated. It was obviously people who had wealth lived here, but now it's everything in the house that could be barricaded against a window is pushed against a window. Everything that could be used for defense is used for defense. You see effigies all over the house of what looks to be a man holding a son, just made out of like rag dolls or string or anything that it could. Um, no, none of you have religion, so I can't really give it to you what that is. Um, you'd have to inquire. Um, and Ismark um, walks up to a woman who's standing by the door, and she's young. She's probably 17, 18 years old. Um, her hair is kind of dirty and disheveled. Her clothes are disheveled, dirty, um, but she is just very beautiful, extremely beautiful, despite all of that. Um, and she says, "Ismark, who are these? Who are these men?" And he says, "Irina, these are friends. These are heroes. They helped me protect you. You are you are safe so long as they are around. He can't get you now."
I'm going to step forward. Nico's going to step forward and with a flourish say, "I'm Nico Tirada at your service." And I'm going to use prestidigitation to clean her clothes and entire image to make her feel clean again.
Wow. Okay, that is baller, bro. Love it. I'm gonna give you inspiration. That's
Thank you,
beautiful.
sir.
All right, so
At your service.
she actually like gasps at her clothes being clean. She holds her hand out like sort of a noble woman might, but you get this feeling that she's a down to earth kind of noble, you know. She goes, "That's incredible. What what an amazing gift. Thank you for everything, Nico." You said.
Yes, at your service. And my companions here. We are here at your service. How can we help?
Well, tell me your names first. I should know who you are.
I'm going to step back.
um, my name's Disdain. It's a pleasure to meet you and be at your service.
She says, you're, I believe it's called a tiefling.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm being rude.
No, no.
I've never seen a tiefling in person before. It is, it is an honor. And she shakes your hand.
Thank you. Thank you for being so kind.
And thank you for saving me tonight.
It was nothing.
Dr. Crawford will come forward and give a small bow and just say, "My name is Dr. Ernest Crawford. It was a pleasure to be able to assist you." And just remain quiet after that.
Dr. Crawford, a man of education.
I guess you could say that, yes.
Something I truly wish we had in Barovia was a college. I've read about them. They seem quite wonderful. Um, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for your help. And then she looks up at you, Rhogar, and you're obviously way taller than everybody and kind of filling up more space. Everybody, she goes, uh, "A dragonkin.
Yes.
You're more incredible than I ever imagined."
Nice.
And she holds her dainty little hand out to shake your hand.
I'll shake her hand softly and say, "The name's Rhogar."
Love it.
Nice.
She says, I owe all of you so much. Um, I just wish you were here at a better time. It is all quite so hopeless. More will come. I know this. And she sort of starts to sob a little bit, but then she wipes a tear away angrily. She goes, "No, I'm not going to go out like that. He could see the look in my face when I draw my last breath. He won't have me." And when she says that, her hair kind of comes away from her neck, and you guys see um, two sets of two puncture wounds on her neck.
Two sets. You said two sets
Mhm.
of puncture wounds on her neck.
Yep, you got medicine. Give me a medicine roll.
Yes, sir. Ugh. Ugh. That was out of a 20, guys.
Yep. Looks like two puncture wounds, two sets of two holes on her neck.
Yeah, way to go, Bard.
Hey, dude, look, I've been carrying y'all all night. You're welcome.
Yeah, in the bushes. I don't know. Rhogar's gonna pipe up and he's gonna say, "What are all these effigies? Where are they from?"
She goes, "It's supposed to be the Morning Lord. He's the god that Father taught us to revere. Um, Father Donovich was at one time my father's best friend. He was our village cleric, and he serves the Morning Lord, or served the Morning Lord. It's before what happened to his son happened. He was a powerful cleric, and he taught my father, who taught me how to make the effigies and how to say the prayers of protection. I did the best I could. I think it helped us a little bit, but I'm no cleric. I don't know how to keep the undead at bay." She goes, "I wish Father Donovich would come help. Did he say anything when you went to see him today, Ismark?" And Ismark says, "He won't even come out of the chapel. And because based on the screams I heard, you know why." She goes, "Then we really don't know what to do. Father must be buried before anything else, and if Father Donovich won't help us, I don't know what to do. So I don't suppose one of you are a cleric."
No, we killed and ate him.
You say that?
No, that's not. I'm speaking out of character. I'm out of character.
She's like, "I'm sorry, what?"
No. I'm like, no, I said, no,
Because
none
we
of us
could really
are.
use a cleric right now. Like that
Yeah.
would be great right
That
now.
would be super groovy if you were the clerics. No, I am not the cleric, but your father, I take it that he is a cleric, no?
No, he was the burgomaster. He was the mayor, the leader of the town. Father Donovich is like an uncle to us, or he was. He was Father's best friend. He was the town cleric. He served the Morning Lord.
And now he will not come out of the chapel,
He will
correct?
not. No, something terrible happened to his son, and he refuses to return to his duties.
Since we arrived in Barovia not some hours ago, we have seen many things, but a cleric is not one of them. So if you're telling me, if you're telling Nico Tirada that there is a cleric inside this chapel, I think, and I'm looking to the party, I think we should go find him and bring him to you.
If you would do that, if you would convince him to perform the last rites on my father's body. In Barovia, as you can see, the dead do not stay dead all the time, and a cleric such as Father Donovich could say the ceremony, could conduct the ceremony that would keep my father's body at rest. That would mean everything to me. And Ismark too, he's like tearing up. He's like, "You truly are sent from the gods." He goes, "Please Let me give you what provisions we have. Stay here tonight, sleep here, get rest. We can do all of this in the morning when the light is back.
Are you confident with us getting rest before daybreak when we just have the undead try to attack?
I will work on reboarding up and shoring up our defenses, but we've never had more than a single attack.
If that changes, wake us up immediately.
I will. Yes, of course. You guys, Irina kind of leads you guys to like a den. She's lays out some bedding, brings you guys a cistern of water. She brings out a bottle of purple grape mash in case anybody wants to drink. And again, you just kind of like, you not only notice that she's got those puncture wounds, but you know she's kind of pale as well. Now that she's sort of in that firelight, you can see her a little better. But again, you're struck by the beauty of this woman. She has a certain it factor. She seems to be extremely, not just beautiful physically, but she has a certain spirit about her that is comforting.
So I'm going to bust out the lute again. I've only got a tambourine and timbrel. So I'm going to bust out the lute. I'm going to start playing. Anybody who's within earshot, you're going to be rested and feeling good as we wind down.
Yep.
Sounds good.
And normally that would give you a boost on your short rest, but quite frankly, you're about to get a long rest, so that's a full bounce back.
Ooh, cool.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to ask either one of them before we get the rest?
Dude,
I want to ask what happened to the cleric's son.
She's getting your beds ready while she's answering that question. She says, I don't know how long you've been here, what you've heard, but a year ago a man came to the village, a powerful wizard who claimed to have the ability to destroy Count Strahd. And he led the men up the mountain to the castle. And Father Donovich's son, Dur, who was his entire world, a young boy, teenage boy, he followed this mage with a pitchfork in hand, as if a pitchfork could do anything against Count Strahd. And many of the men were slaughtered, but Doru was one of the few that returned to the village. But he was no longer Doru. He was something else. And Father Donovich sealed him away in the basement of the chapel. And now he refuses to do any of his duties. And Father, before he died, worried that Father Donovich perhaps has lost his faith.
That's a challenge. That's going to be a challenge. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to tell her. I'm going to pipe up here. I'm going to say, many times I've seen the wanderer, the wizard, the traveler. Many a brag and many a oath they have on their lips. When it comes time to perform, when it becomes time to deliver on the promises, many a man fall short. And before I left the fire, I saw many a people go to their doom. But I do not lose heart, because my quest is not with theirs. But tonight, my quest is with these men, these women, and you. We will be okay. We will get this cleric at whatever cost. Let us have a good night.
Thank you, Nico. She says, you're a Vistani, right?
I am.
She goes, that's the other thing. Madame Eva's camp is between here and the castle, and one of the survivors told me that she warned the mage that his quest would end in death, and he ignored her. And all know she is the wisest of the Vistana. I don't know why he would have ignored such a woman as that.
Nico's going to shed his usual shell of composure here, and he's really going to lose his crackers on this one. A madness is going to flash in his eyes, and he's going to almost reach out at her before reaching his humanity. He's going to say, Madame Eva, she is close, she is near.
Yes, she's about a half day's journey west.
You must take
Last
me
I
to
heard,
her. You must take me to her. If I get you your cleric, will you take me to her?
I can't do anything until Father's laid to rest, but I must get away from Barovia before he comes back for me again. So, yes, if you'll help me see my father buried properly, I'll happily leave Barovia with you.
Nico kind of slinks back in the shadows and starts plucking away on his loot again.
Okay. So you guys are now going to get a long rest, finally. And that means that your full hit points, you're going to be full spell slots, like all abilities reset. The words you get a long rest are the favorite words that players ever hear from a dungeon master.
That's
Everything
awesome.
comes back.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to use a Thunder Wave like 3 times in a row, could I use it?
If you have the spell slots to cast it.
Yeah, okay. So I've got 3
Yep.
spell slots, correct?
Yep. Correct.
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
Yep. Good
That's
use of
pretty
that,
good.
by the way. That was
That's
pretty smooth.
that's a pretty good spell, man. I'm a
That's a good
fan.
spell. Yeah.
Be a lot cooler if Baron was here, but that ship has sailed.
Yep.
Well, I was just gonna say this is the first time I've been in bed since I was with Baron last. Like this is gonna be a little different.
Yeah, you still sore from when he broke you off.
I love it. Great job, guys. Now, look, we've got 2 choices here. We can either, I want to try to end these around 3 hours or so.
Yep.
So this is a good point to end it. Or if you guys want to keep pushing forward, we probably got another. I probably got another 45 minutes to an hour of material ready. It's up to you guys if you basically want to go another hour or not. I'm cool either way. This is a good point to end it, or in an hour, that's a good point to end it.
No, I love it.
I
I
don't
feel
want
like
to do anything in between. So
no, dude. I don't let this weigh on your decision, but I feel like this is one of the greatest sessions we've had, and I feel good.
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah,
Too.
it was so fun.
okay, Zokk and Weezen, how are you guys
I'm
doing
good.
time?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay.
Either way, I'm fine.
Cool.
I don't care.
All right, then we will continue. But let's take like a 3-minute bio, refill drinks, bio up, and then when we come back, we'll wake up in the morning and go from there.
Cool.
Sounds good.
All right, so we're back after a little drink and bio break. The players have elected of their own accord to keep the party going here, so we're going to do that. So you guys wake up in the morning to a bit of a, um, more peaceful situation. You wake up to the house, not being attacked. One of the things you notice when you wake up and you look out the window, the sun's out, but that doesn't mean anything really. I mean, it's like a very thin grayish light that sort of lights everything up. I mean, definitely brighter than the night, but it's not. It's like your concept of daylight coming from Faerun is daylight. Like it's the sun's out. It's like the sun's fighting its way through mist and clouds to get to this place, and by the time it gets there, there's just enough to call it daylight, but not much more than that. And you wake up to this wonderful breakfast of bacon and eggs, hot coffee. And Irina and Ismark are in the kitchen, and they're both working together hard to get this like breakfast ready for you guys. And they tell you it's just because they want to say thank you for the help you gave and the help you're willing to give going to talk to Father Donovich. And they got a big old thing of eggs and bacon and coffee ready for you guys.
Let's eat.
Yeah, you scarf it down. So you feel pretty good. Like you feel pretty good. You guys are you walk out the front door and kind of tell them that you'll meet up with them later this afternoon after you've kind of figured out what's going on over there. Um, Bellies are full night's rest, all spell slots available, and you got to get to the other side of the town where the chapel is. But
All right. So, I mean, let's head towards the chapel, right?
yeah.
Good.
So yeah, so you guys head through the village, and there's actually people out now. They look at especially Disdain and Rhogar sort of sideways glances and murmurs and
Are, are
um,
there are there anything identifying stores or anything? Any
yeah. So
markers?
yeah, so as you're walking through the town, you actually you see a building coming up that says Bildreth's Mercantile.
Hmm. We might ought to hop in there real quick. Dr. Crawford.
Yes, I think it would be high time we get you gentlemen paid.
All right, so you go in to this place called Bildreth's Mercantile, and when you walk in, let me get the screen shared again. So you guys walk into a very small shop. It's definitely not. It's definitely not big by the standards you guys have come used to. And there's a man behind the counter who's sort of a older looking man with sort of a scowl on his face. Um, you walk in and he says, "Oh," he goes, "adventurers, wonderful." He goes, "How can I help you?"
Hi there. We're looking for an appraisal, possibly to sell, possibly to buy a few things.
Certainly. He goes, "What do you want me to appraise?"
I'm gonna pull out Miss Julie's amulet and the signet ring that we picked up. Not the Rictavio ring, but the signet ring that we picked up.
Okay, yeah. So you open up or you give him the necklace and the signet ring. Not the Rictavio one, the other one you found.
Right, the one that was in
Okay,
the room with all the beds.
let me sure I get this name right. Hold on just a second. Okay. So he looks at the ring and he goes, "Well, this is next to worthless, really. This is a signet ring of the Martikov family." He goes, "A bunch of rabble rousers, from what I hear. I don't want anything to do with it." And he pushes it across the table to you.
The Martikov family. Okay, thank you. Martikov signet ring. All right. Well, what can you tell me about the pendant?
Now this is a more interesting piece, and he pulls out kind of a grimy looking magnifying thing for his eye, and he looks at it and he says, "This is well, it's worth I'd say at least 100 gold. That's a very good price for something like this."
Are you at all familiar with the Durst house in this village?
The old Durst place, the
Mm-hmm.
worn down. Because I've heard, yeah, I grew up here. I've used to play in the ruins of the place. My mother tanned me real good once for doing that. Said
Mm-hmm.
it was dangerous. Doesn't seem very dangerous to me.
This pendant came from that Durst house and belonged to one Miss Julie. She was the nursemaid of the children of Gustav Durst, the lord of the family. Look at the inscription there. And then I point to
He
the...
does, and he is. Well, who cares? That family's been dead for nearly 300 years.
So I take it you don't have much interest in the history of your town then, or know anyone who would.
He says it's a valuable piece. It's made of gold. It has good jewels. I'll give you 100 gold for it. Now you know from your assessment that just based on the materials alone, this thing's worth what, 750 gold?
For materials, and then there's also the fact that this is proof that Gustav Durst was a philanderer. So
Yeah.
that's
You do get a sense that well, before I just give that to you, what you roll an insight.
Okay.
Can I help him?
Yeah.
I have insight though, so I should give him advantage.
So wait, you can't help him if you don't have it.
No,
So
sorry, sorry, my bad.
no, I know you do.
No, I have investigation. I have
That's right.
investigation.
That's
my
right.
bad.
Rhogar has insight.
Yeah.
So
my bad.
Rhogar, you're going to help him, which
Yeah,
is going
mine
to
is +3. Yeah.
right. But what I'm looking at is so he has insight. You have insight. He gets to roll at advantage and add a +1 in addition.
So all right. So I'm rolling the first one. 1d20 plus 5.
So
All right. So there's 23.
We got 23. So I might as well just giving it to you because that's a great roll. So what you figure out based on what he's saying to you is that everything that happened, all that drama that played out with that house and that family, that's from hundreds of years ago, and these are all humans. So like you're talking multiple generations ago. So like there's just nobody around who cares anymore about what happened. So the value of the piece is really in the materials.
Okay.
But you do know that he's trying to undercut you.
All right. Well, if that's the case, I suppose I'll just take this with us and find someone who can make us a better offer, as well as I might buy from them instead.
A man walks into the room. He's a young guy. He's like 17, 18 years old, but he is massive. He's like this massive guy. And he goes, "Uncle, is everything okay?" And Bildrith turns and goes, "Periwinkle, get out of here. I'm doing business right now. Can't you see that?" And the guy says, "Oh, I want to learn how to do the business." And Bildrith says, "You can't even clean the latrine properly. How are you ever going to be a businessman? Get away from here, boy." And he kind of like smacks the kid in the face, and the kid goes, "Oh," and like sort of shambles backwards and just kind of stands in the corner. He goes, "I'm sorry about that. Periwinkle is a simple boy. He needs to be reminded how to behave himself sometimes."
Well, I'm sure you're more than up to the task then. Gentlemen, I say we look for maybe someone in the next town after we tidy up business here.
Now, hold on. That's not necessary. You got me. You're new visitors to town, and I thought you were perhaps naive. It's how you must forgive a businessman for trying to make some money. He goes, "I clearly will give you more for such a valuable piece, but you must allow for me to make a profit. I'll give you 300 gold. That's more than fair. It's better than you'll get anywhere else in this land. I promise you that."
I look to Disdain and Rhogar. Oh, that'll be 150 to each of you. Does that sound acceptable for what you went through in the Durst house?
Hold on to it.
Hold on to it.
Man, I think there's something else we can do, man. I really think there's something else we can do.
Rhogar looks to Dr. Crawford and says, let's just go.
All right. Fine.
Okay, Rocky, as a bard, there is some way that I can light these candles that I have in my backpack and make like music and flames dance and charm people, right? Isn't
No.
there? Dude, I was reading that
Wait,
was
what?
the case.
I don't know. You're getting high or something when you're reading that book.
No,
man.
that's
I don't know.
that's not, dude.
You need to write a new supplement, man, because like you're coming up with abilities I ain't never heard of.
I'll email you, buddy. But
That's
yeah,
good.
let's
Email
go.
me. Send me an email.
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah.
So you guys get out of there. Oh shit! Forget you guys saw that. All right. So you guys leave and you start heading downtown. And as you cross town, you hear a whistle, and you look up. And on the street level, sort of above where you guys are, a man comes walking down the street with a whistle in his mouth, with a few soldiers following behind him. And these soldiers all have axes and they have helmets down. And the man is he's very kind of overweight, and he's got a wolf fur on, and he sort of waddles down. He says, halt right there." He goes, "In the name of Burgomaster Amor, I command you to halt."
Hello, sir. And I oblige him. I hold. We're looking for a visitor's report check-in location. Could you direct us?
Okay, that's clever. Give me a deception roll there, buddy.
Can I
Because that's
Like,
not
help
what
him?
you guys said you were doing.
Yeah, I know.
You can help him.
because I
But-
have deception.
When I saw the soldiers, I thought the same thing. I was like, we
So
need to
Zokk,
get to...
so Zokk jumped on it, so it's going to be his action.
Yeah.
But you are going to help him, so that will give him advantage, which in his
Alright.
case will get rid of the disadvantage,
Okay.
Okay.
and you can add an additional +1.
Okay. So they got rid of the disadvantage. Can I use a point of inspiration to turn that into actual advantage?
Absolutely, absolutely, yes.
All right.
Nice.
So that's going to be 2 rolls of 1d20 as soon as I.
What are you doing?
Shit. 12. Well, it's the best I got, guys.
We
You
tried.
gotta talk. If you have, do you
Oh
have
no,
any other
it was
inspiration?
it was a +1, so it's 13.
I let my players keep using inspiration if they have them. So
You okay with me spinning another? All right.
yep. I love it when y'all burn through your inspirations.
Ah!
Damn. Okay. Well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna roll a contending roll. Okay. And this is his.
Bullshit. Bullshit sniffer.
This is gonna be his bullshit sniffer,
Yeah.
and he is not the wisest of characters. And he says, "Oh, you are? Well, good. That's what I came down here to tell you. You have to do. So you should follow me right now."
Please lead the way, sir. Who do I have the courtesy of addressing?
He goes, "Oh, that's right. I'm Constable Payne Kelhaven. I'm the constable."
Nice to meet you, Constable.
He goes, and just sort of humps at you guys. All right, so you guys follow him through the streets. Again, people are kind of watching and whispering and stuff. The soldiers sort of make a little formation behind you. Not quite sure what to make of you. And you probably have a few minutes here to talk to the constable one-on-one as you guys walk wherever he's taking you. Is there anything you want to ask him or say?
So, has it been peaceful around here lately, or have you been busy keeping the peace?
Well, it's peaceful because we've been busy. We've been working very hard to keep this peace.
Thank you for your service, sir.
He goes, you're the right sort, sir. What was your name?
Crawford, Dr. Ernest Crawford, sir. And I actually extend my hand to give him a shake.
He shakes your hand. He goes, "You're all right, I can tell." He goes, "But what's a man like you going about with creatures like those?"
The Rhogar here and Disdain, I gesture to both of them, are my hired bodyguards as I'm out traveling. And Nico, we actually ran into on our travels. It's been rather convenient to travel with him. It's been safer for all of us.
They do say traveling with Vistani is the only way to travel, and it does make sense to me that you'd have monsters such as those as your bodyguards. Because,
Hmm. Yes.
I think I might put in a good word with you with my brother. And he leads you to this building. It's a little bit nicer of a building. It's actually not very far from where that dude was strung up, by the way. And you guys go into this building, and it's very well decorated. And there's a man who's sitting behind a desk, and he's a very older guy, but he's a very handsome man and very well put together. And he stands up and he says, "Oh, yes, the visitors I've heard so much about." He goes, "It's good that you finally found the time to come and visit me for your registration." He goes, "Brother, I assume there was no trouble." And Payne says, "Well, quite the opposite, brother. These are very these are very kind people. This Dr. Crawford man here, he seems to be quite knowledgeable too. And he's got these creatures here." And Amal corrects him. He goes, "They're not creatures. They are people just like you and me, brother." And the Payne goes, "Well, yes, it makes sense that a man like him, being small as he is and old, would need bodyguards. And of course, they travel with Vistani because, well, we all know why people travel with Vistani, don't we?" And Amal says, "That does all seem to make convenient sense. Please, have a seat, everyone. We should talk for a little bit."
Now, I'm going to hold up the document from earlier. I said, when I saw this, I figured once it was daybreak, it would be best to search for you and present ourselves since we are visitors.
The
So
document is the
the
notice
one that
that
I
you.
took from the square, yes.
Oh, so this is where that went. You do know the penalty for taking down public declarations, especially those issued by Count Strahd, is having your hands removed.
I did not.
He stares at you for a really uncomfortable moment, and you feel like he's deciding if he's going to impose that sentence. And he says, "Well, you're new to our lands. It can be forgiven this once." He goes, have one of your men repost these, and he hands them back to I assume you get both of them.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So he gives them to Payne, who turns it to one of the soldiers, who kind of runs off in a hurry.
Mhm.
He says, but yes, it is very important that visitors be registered. It is for the safety of the village. You understand, of course.
I do indeed. Yes.
And you also understand why I must confiscate your weapons while you are visitors here.
You, Burgermeister Kilhaven, we were attacked last night. Now, I'm not going to fault anyone in the village here for that. It was, unfortunately, it was wolves. That said, the reason we were able to keep ourselves alive was because we had these.
So you were attacked inside Barovia.
Mhm.
Give me a deception roll. You were outside the city limits.
Wait, what? No,
You went outside.
that was outside the city.
It was just outside the city limits.
All right, fair enough. All right.
D&D is hard, y'all.
Can anybody
Hey,
help
I'm gonna
them?
help
I like
him.
my
I'm gonna
sword.
help him.
Not right
No,
now.
it's too late.
he's
It's too
not
late.
disadvantaged. No,
I would. It's too late.
All
I
right,
can help
so
because I got
it's too
deception. No disadvantage.
roll 1d20 minus
Right,
1.
Rocky?
Twice. And
Hey,
and-
decent
and
roll.
That's a great roll.
Yeah.
Now roll at disadvantage and take the lower of the
Oh, right, yeah. Shit.
Oh,
Now
let's
you
get
see why
another
my
great roll.
players end up hating me.
All right.
You
Still
still
not too
did
bad.
good. You still did really good.
Okay.
Well, that is troublesome, isn't it, brother? And he turns up to Payne, and Payne says, "Oh, I've heard no reports of wolves in the streets, only out there at the old Donovich place." And he says, "Well, the man is clearly not lying. I can tell." He says, "So perhaps we should do better with the guarding of our streets in the nights." And Constable Payne says, I'll do what I can. Where were these wolves found? Where did they attack you? What part of the city?
I believe it was heading out towards the Istmark residence.
That explains it then, brother. They were going to attack the manor of Ismark and his sister there, and they wandered into the village and attacked these visitors. It's a fluke. So he sort of nods. He says, well, he goes, may I ask what you were doing in that part of town?
Yes, Mr. Ismark asked us for assistance keeping an eye out in case anything happened near his house. And
Yeah. So I'm gonna pipe up and interject here really quickly. And I'm going to say, what the good doctor is telling you is that everything is settled and there is no need for any further advancement of the issue. We are all whole, we are all well, and we will not be handing you the weapons.
He nods. He stands up. He pours a little glass of water, sips it as he looks out at the window. And he turns around and he says, with all due respect to you, as a member of the Vistani, I am the burgomaster of Barovia, and I alone will decide what is important and what must be done. Am I clear?
You are perfectly clear, my lord. So please take my own rapier, who has seen many adventures and many battles, as a token of our faithfulness to you, sir. And I salute you in your position.
You may hand it to my brother.
Please take this, my good sir. We mean you no intent.
Constable Tane takes it and he says, thank you, sir. I appreciate you cooperating. Because we'll write you a ticket, of course, so when you leave town, you may collect it again. He takes your rapier, and one of the soldiers starts filling out a piece of paper. What's your name again? He asks. Yeah, and he's like writing it down.
I am Nico Tirada. Your service.
How do you spell Tirada? Anyway, he's just like so you get your ticket. You lose your rapier.
Yep.
Amal says, I must insist that all of you turn in your weaponry while you are visitors in our village.
I take my dagger out and I twist it around as stylishly as I can and muster, almost imitate like I know what I'm doing with it. And then I hand it over.
He says, you are a tiefling.
Correct.
And forgive me for being presumptuous, but you wear the garbs of a spellcaster.
What a mother flipper. He's a mother flipping Mike.
I'm poor. I am quite poor.
So you are not a spellcaster?
I don't know any spells.
Then you won't mind if... okay. So let's do a deception roll, buddy.
Oh, shit, dude. Come on,
I
man.
have deception.
Hey, can I, at the last very second, give him bardic inspiration? At the
You may
very
not.
last second. Damn it.
I have deception though, so it's not a disadvantage.
You're going to need more. This guy.
Not 20, buddy.
Oh,
Fuck yes.
dude. Look at that. You're so lucky, dude. So lucky.
He nods. He says, Pain, we have bigger knives than that we serve steaks with at our manor. Let him keep it. He's clearly no threat. So he gives you your dagger back.
Sweet.
He turns to Rhogar. He goes, now you, my friend, are an entirely different matter. You are clearly a dangerous man. And well equipped for battle, I see.
I don't want to give him my weapons.
You can't do it. Roll initiative. Let's get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna decline.
What do you say?
The sword is a magic sword, and without its counterpart, it will do you much harm.
Oh,
And you have
my
this counterpart?
goodness.
I might.
Then give me the sword and the counterpart, and they will be stored together. You may retrieve your goods when you leave Barovia.
Nah, I think I need to hang on to it.
That is
I'm
simply
afraid.
not an option, my friend.
I whisper to Rhogar, we can find more.
Let me be clear. You will be placed in prison, or you will register your weapons with us and let us hold them while you are in town. And I do not want to put you in prison. I've been burgomaster all of 3 days. I've had to hang a man already. I prefer not to be seen as a tyrant.
You got this guy who looks super cold. You got Payne, the big beefy dude behind him. We can't roll initiative here. Do what he says.
I don't.
Or hey, just tell me if you want. Tell me if you want to roll initiative because I can make it happen. Trust
Well,
me.
then we'll be dead probably.
No, I can make it happen. If all four of y'all want to roll initiative,
I just feel
Let
like
me
Morgan
know.
Freeman's voice comes on at this moment. He's like, the party had forgotten about Death House.
let me know. The recent successes in battle had convinced them they were invincible.
We can find other weapons even if we get into something. I have my gust ability that I could blow something with 5 pounds out of someone's hand and you can roll a chance to grab it. Like there's multiple.
That's a foolproof plan. That's a
Dude, but
foolproof
this is a turning point. I have a magical guitar on my back. Rhogar needs his
there's no, you guys gotta understand, there's also not a right or wrong. This is how you want to navigate the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't make his decision.
Just a question: is he taking all my weapons or just my sword?
He wants all your weapons held here while you're in Barovia, the village. And then when you leave the village, you can come grab them and leave, is what he's telling you.
Oh, I do not like this at all.
Is the chapel in the village?
It's on the outskirts, but it's technically part of the village.
Part of the village. Awesome. Rhogar, you can't do it. We got to fight. Let's go. We got shit to do. What do you want me to do? You want me to intimidate this guy? You want me to freaking gargle mayonnaise? I'll do it.
I don't give a fuck.
You just tell me.
All
Just
right,
tell me.
so let me look here.
We need a cleric. Right now we're missing one cleric. One.
Yeah, he's dead.
So
Let's see. I don't think I have anything. Can we at least roll a persuasion? And by saying, "Kind sir, with us being visitors into your fair city, and we've already been attacked once, would it be acceptable to keep weaponry?"
Certainly, go for it. You have persuasion. I'm going to let you do that.
Okay. Come on, 20.
it's, you're gonna have to beat a 35. Let's get it.
Let's see. Nope.
All right, let me give you a wisdom check from this guy, which is not small. He says, I understand your position. I really do. And I take no pleasure in asking this. I know a man such as you, who has had to live by the edge of your blade for many years, will not be comfortable being parted from his weapons. And you do not have to give me your weapons. You can leave Barovia immediately. And what you do outside of my city's limits is your business, not mine. But so long as you are here as a guest, your weaponry must stay here with me. And my militia, my guard, they will keep you protected while you are here. They're all just staring at you, Rhogar.
Yeah, I think he's gone.
Think what?
Okay, so the
no.
last thing we heard was my militia.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. My
No, it's okay.
it just literally said my internet is unstable.
It's all good.
Okay, so he says my militia will protect you while you are in town. He says, "Did you hear the part where I said you can leave?"
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. He says, but I must insist that you, while you are in the city limits, you leave your weapons here.
So, guys, he's volunteering a military force to accompany us wherever we go, if we want it. Basically,
I don't think that's what he means. Okay, then how do we get out?
My men will see you to the edge of the village and send you on your way. And
we
you may
can't
not-
do that.
may not
Our
return.
business is not done, Rhogar. Oh, goddamn, I'm getting so pissed at this guy. I'm about to just freaking karate chop his ass.
Rhogar, think. I can give my dagger to the doctor. There's two of us that actually have shit that's going on. We just need to find two of you guys' weapons. It's not that hard to find. We have money. We can go back to the shop and maybe the guy can squander us some weapons for that fucking jewel.
Fine. Take the stupid weapons, you hippie, with your little haircut.
I cannot believe you just gave up your Second Amendment right, sir.
He does. He takes the weapons. They write you out a seal of ownership or a writ of ownership and itemize all your weapons and give them to you.
But first, before you take them, can you tell me about this deed?
The deed?
The windmill deed.
Certainly, I'll take
The
it.
counterpart to his weapon he was
Counterpart.
talking about.
Yeah. So Kelhaven takes a look at it. He says, I am a man of some mystical education. Do you mind if I cast a simple spell upon it to ascertain more about it?
Oh, God, dude.
Sure.
So he does a little incantation and the deed glows a little bit. He looks at it. He goes, this is very interesting. He goes, from a legal standpoint, this is the deed of ownership to the bone grinder mill. Well, the deed calls it the grinder mill, but we all call it the bone grinder mill. It's quite a bit ways from here between Barovia and Vallaki out in the woods. And he kind of gives you a generic description of where it is. He goes, I think some old women have taken up in there and they make bread or pastries or some such out of it now. But I suppose you are the legal owner having this document. He goes, but from a magical standpoint, this deed asserts your control over the blade, which basically, from a mechanic standpoint, means as a bonus action, you can use the deed when the sword goes crazy on a nat 1 to bring it back into your palm and make it behave itself.
Okay.
So you're gonna really need that sword back, Rhogar.
I'm gonna get it back. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay.
So we got everyone. So we got Dr. Crawford's weapons. Disdain got out of it. Or no, we got Nico's weapons, right?
I don't need weapons.
All right,
My-
Disdain got out of it.
my
You
get
handed
fiddle was my
yours.
weapon.
And then he turns and looks at you, Dr. Crawford.
I'm going to take my rapier. It's not sheath. I didn't unsheath it. Present it to him, and I'm going to draw out my +1 dagger and my regular one. I'm going to hand them all to, I guess, the nearest guard towards us. And I'm going to say, as a gesture of good faith.
They write you out a writ of ownership and give it to you and say, well, that's that then. So now I must ask, what's your business in town?
Resupply, learning about the land of Barovia, and most likely to move on afterwards.
Move on where?
West. We heard there was a city called Vallaki to the
Indeed,
west.
there is.
That was going to be our next location, most likely.
If the big city's your thing, I suppose it's the place to go.
You know my background. It is no surprise to you. I am in search of the Madame Eva.
Madame Eva is greatly respected by all in these lands, including my lord Count Strahd himself. She is encamped between here and Vallaki. If you head that way, you cannot help but reach her camp.
I thank you, sir.
As well, gentlemen, I suppose our business is conducted until you're ready to leave the town.
Thank you for your understanding. And with
So,
that,
yeah, so
I'll get up.
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, with that, I'll get up and motion to leave
So
the
yeah,
house.
so you start to walk out, and then Payne says, "Well, brother, perhaps there's another option. Instead of taking these men's weapons, we could put them to use for the town." And Amal says, "You mean what I think you mean, brother?" He says, "Well, yes. I mean, better them than me, right?" And he puts his hand on his chin and he looks at all of you. He goes, "Clearly, you are men who know how to use those weapons, right?"
We did survive the wolf attack, so I think that should be testament to our level of skill.
There is another option. I take no pleasure in taking your property. I am no brigand. Our town is in need of help. We have a situation at the morgue, a situation my predecessor solved by boarding the place up after many men died. But perhaps if you would be willing to put your weapons to use for the village, I could accept you as temporary militiamen of Barovia, at which point, legally, I could allow you to carry your weapons.
I'm intrigued. Gentlemen, would you like to hear more?
Of course.
I would, and also above just only getting our weapons back in light of such a dangerous task before us. It seems to me that you are a man empowered to give us more than just our weapons back, perhaps some other form of support or provisions.
Are we negotiating?
Of course, always, as you know the way of the Usani.
Of course I do. He says, very well, we are negotiating. What do you want?
If you could provide us someone who knows the town, the area, the ins and outs of the place, to ward off any potential surprise attacks, the ins and outs of the target of opportunity, and even more, perhaps payment or some sort of healing regiment that we may, should we find ourselves in face of certain danger, we could find a way to escape it.
I think that's reasonable, and I do indeed have a few healing potions I could spare. 50 gold and 3 healing potions. That would be your payment for the task.
I'm looking at Doctor. He's been the negotiator so far. Do you think that's fair?
I'd like to add one final minor stipulation. We've been willing to demonstrate our good faith so far. If we accomplish this, I'm hoping you'd be willing to look over any further minor accidental transgressions that we might accidentally do if we're in Barovia. As an example, I didn't know about taking the papers from the board. So
I promise you, regardless of your willingness to help us or not, an extension of good faith. You seem like reasonable men.
then I suppose the only thing left to do is just go over the details of the work then. Is there some sort of threat within the morgue?
Well, on that matter, we do not know. We know that something horrible happened in there, that it has been a few days now, and the men that went in to deal with it have not exited or tried to exit. My predecessor boarded the place up and barricaded it. He saw whatever was within it, and it horrified him, and as far as I know, he went back to his children and he had a heart attack. So it is something dangerous, I assume. It's not uncommon in these lands to have such a threat. But I do not know. So you would be going into an unknown threat. But I can tell you, the building is small. It is an old house that was retrofitted into a morgue. Once Donovich declared he would no longer do his duties as a cleric, and the dead had to be processed there in the incinerator. That is all I know. I need you to go in to the morgue and neutralize whatever threat to the village is within. A simple task.
Do we have permission to investigate as far as what the threat is in the morgue outside of the town, such as asking questions, things like that?
I will have Payne have a militiaman accompany you as you go around the town. You may ask the villagers whatever you wish, and having a militiaman there will give you an air of authority.
All right. That may assist us when just determining things that go wrong. Gentlemen, does this sound all agreeable to you?
Sounds agreeable to me.
I
Of
get my
course.
weapons back. I'm in.
It is nothing.
Okay, he gives you your weapons back.
One last question. While we're conducting our business and our research upon this, will we have free access around the city? Are we allowed to explore other places than just the morgue?
I don't know why you would need to do that. I mean, the morgue is really the objective, so...
That cleric, in particular, I'd be curious to see why he suddenly wanted to stop.
Donovich is a fool who raised a fool, and his son returned from the assault, the rebellion on our lord, Count Strahd, quite mad, and the man now sees to his needs night and day, and it's probably driven him just as mad having to take care of such a foolish boy.
I see. Thank you for letting us know that. That's more than we knew previously. Well, it sounds acceptable to me, gentlemen. What do you think?
I think he is hiding something. I think he is afraid. But we will go.
Okay, so you guys leave.
Yes.
Okay, where do you want to go?
While
That's the
we're
question.
rested up, we got a full bellies. Let's go straight to it.
All right, yeah.
Not
I'd like to
the
get this
church?
knocked out quick so we have time to stop by the cleric afterwards.
Okay, so you guys go to where the morgue is. You see all the boards and all the barricades and stuff. Soldier that's accompanying you says, "Yeah, that's it. Bad business, that."
Rhogar gestures to the soldier. You first.
I'm not going anywhere. I was told to accompany you around if you needed to talk to villagers. I would be the authority to tell them to answer your questions, but I'm not going in there.
Okay, so I'm gonna invoke a cutting word spell here to the soldier, intimidate
Okay.
the shit out of him, demoralize him.
All right.
Go to him into coming with us.
All
Do I
right.
need to give you a roll on
Yeah.
this? It's
Oh, yeah.
a
What I'll do. So what? So wait. So cutting words. I think imposes disadvantage, right?
it does.
So this would be more of a. This is more of just an intimidation roll, bro.
Okay, cool.
He's really not wanting to go in there, so you got to beat a 15.
Yo, you got this. How long does blood?
16.
So what do you say to him?
Say, okay, so what you're saying is that you're entirely afraid to enter within, and that's okay. But what are you more afraid of? What is inside, or what your master would do when I go tell him what a coward you were, and how you
Well,
did not follow his simple instructions to the letter, like you always do, like the grovel I know you are.
I worked so hard to get this job. I mean, if you're not a soldier, then if you're not a guard, then you're like a farmer or 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 a carpenter. I mean,
You're
I don't
nothing.
I can't go back to that.
You cannot. You must go forward with us. We will raise you to the exaltations of power.
Will you help me? Will you make sure I'm able to return to my wife and kids?
We can make no promises, but I can tell you the only promise I can make you is that your Lord and Master will know how much of a pussy you are.
Oh, I can't have that. They'll fire me. I have to have this job. And he's like shaking, and he holds his axe up, and it's like almost vibrating in his hand. He goes, let's get these boards off the front door. We've got to get this over with, right?
And
Maybe
just
it's
one last
daylight. Maybe
stab.
it'll be safe.
One last stab at his ego. I'm going to put my hand on his shoulder and say, do not shake so hard, for the ghouls within will hear your weapons clank against your armor and give us away.
Gulp. He's like, oh, geez, Scoob. He's, so he starts hammering at the boards. You guys want to help him?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So
Yep.
you guys make pretty short work of it, and you're able to go into this building. And it's not that big a building, honestly. It's got a little, sort of lobby area, and there's a stairway that goes down, and then you guys, it's you actually, it smells horrible in here. It smells like death in here. You smell blood and rot in the air. It's very dark in here, so you need to do something for light. So who's gonna use a torch or?
I've got one left.
Cool, yeah. So you whip out your last torch. Actually, there are like little, you know,
There are
candle
sconces
type.
on the
Yeah,
wall.
yeah. There's
Whatever.
sconces
Okay.
on the wall. You can light
Okay.
those up.
Yeah, I'll light as I go.
So you're kind of
Listen.
lighting as you go, but in front of you it's really dark. So yeah, so you guys keep going, and as you go ahead.
Am I seeing anything with my dark vision?
You can see ahead of everybody else, but what you end up seeing as you guys get into the basement is there's another stairway that sort of leads down further, and you hear like crying, like a girl crying down
It's
there.
never good. Never good. So we're just in the foyer right now, and we can go down, and we
Yeah.
can go.
Yeah, no, you went down to the basement, and then
Okay.
you're looking kind of down into this like area they built underneath the building, probably to house all the bodies and incinerator and stuff. Um, but you're just sort of staring at that now, and then you hear down the hallway, you hear like a girl crying.
Okay, I can sense that my entire party is terrified right now. I'm gonna waste all 3 of my bardic inspirations right now, and start playing my lute. Give a bardic inspiration to Dr. Ernest, Disdain, and Rhogar. But we got to work quick because it's 10 minutes.
That's
So
plus 1d6 for one of my rolls, right?
Yep.
yes,
Okay.
let's get it. So what?
I'm
Alright.
gonna roll an Arcana check just because it looks like we're in a bit of a tombeish area.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. What are you specifically zeroing in on?
kind of just the light at the other end. Because do we see that light? Or is
No,
that
not really.
no.
Yeah, it's pretty just a dark hallway.
All right. Then I won't really use it now.
Okay.
As
Move forward.
Yeah, and then as I move forward, I'm going to keep an eye out on the architecture to see if anything looks unstable. So just a
Architecture
safety
looks
precaution.
fine, but
All
as
right.
you guys move down the hall, the crying gets louder, and you start to hear a voice, and you hear a girl's voice say, "He took me from my betrothed. He gave me his kiss and a drop of his blood, and now I'm thirsty all the time." And as you guys clear around the corner, you see a massive pile of bodies, some old, some new, and you see a half ethereal looking female in a bride's dress with blood stains all over her. And she
Let's get
looks
it.
up and she says, "The master sent me something to eat. Pray, Strahd." And that's where we end tonight's session.
All right.
That's it. Next week.
Next week.
All right. Q.